Well, good morning, Brew Crew. I'm Eric N1JUR, and I'm finally hanging out with.
And I'm Shannon KC1OHT here in the US or M0OHT in the UK.
I love how on Deer's Commander Show you would like just introduce yourself as both call signs, kind of out of a confusion. Very cool, very cool. Well, good morning, all of those guys in the chat. Good to see you. And definitely got some interesting stuff to go on today, but we'll get into that in a second or two. Definitely say hello to us there in the chat. Make sure you let us know where you're joining in from. And if, I don't know, it's just a little crazy day. But anyway, I'm looking good. They're looking fun. I mean, I'm a little out of whack here because I've been doing the show for like 3-4 weeks, well, probably longer than that now, and I'm so used to just being solo that I have to come up with my own conversation. Anyway, Shannon, how are you doing?
I am excellent.
Wow, that's it. Thanks.
You know, it's I don't want to say like it's good to be back, but I mean like it is good to be back, but I really liked it in England. Miles really liked it in England. We made some great friends that we were very sad to leave. So, um, I would go back right now if I could. But thank you, Bob. Oh, I've really missed your smile. That's so sweet.
Yeah, Bob and I talk from time to time, and yeah, he was like, "When's Shannon coming back?" When I'm like, "Bob, thanks." No, just kidding. All good. Well, I'm sure you got a boatload of stories, and like you had mentioned in the back chat there while we were trying to get ready for the show, that you're just kind of compiling all of your thoughts and videos and all of the other stuff in between. So, well, maybe we can convince you to make a video montage or something. I don't know. That might be a possibility in the cards for the future. Maybe.
Yeah, I was just saying to the guys on the PokeNet actually before I came on the show that, because not all of them are on Facebook, so they don't all follow me. So, I might have to actually print out a photo book or something. Does anybody remember photo books, printing pictures?
No.
So, I figure I'll go instead of like the old school way of like printing out the pictures and sticking them in an album. I would, at least just print them in a photo book. So I can, then I can bring it to like the Pokey Breakfast and show off the pictures and all the different adventures that we
This is
partook
your
in.
photo book now.
Yeah, but it's small. You can make the pictures bigger if you do it in a photo book. And you can, like, you can probably type little captions on the pictures so that, the guys know what they're looking at.
I guess. I mean, like last time my wife built a photo book was probably like 5-7 years ago, and it cost like a fortune to print. So I can only imagine what it
Well,
costs
yeah, you got to get those deals first of all.
if there's
There's
any out
always
there.
there's always coupons,
Hmm.
and yeah, we'll see how much it is. If it's too much, then I'll just print the individual 4x6s and get an album off of Amazon and just slap those babies in there. Go old school, 1980s style.
Wow, you're going farther and farther and farther backwards. So the next one's going to be like, hold on, stand in front of the camera. We need the like black and white photo on the old Wild West.
Let me chisel it.
Oh, you're going to go that far. Well, any one story you want to kind of share short? I mean, obviously, I'm putting you on the spot here because you haven't done it. Well, you don't do preparation anyway. What are we talking about? So, any one small short story you want to share?
Oh my gosh, one small short story. Well, I guess like since we were talking about it and it is, actually more ham radio related aside from like everything else that we did, which was not necessarily all ham radio related. It was very like World War II loaded, which, I love World War II history, women in World War II. Obviously, I'm wearing my Bletchley Park shirt today. So we went to
Very cool.
Bletchley Park, home of the code breakers, where Alan Turing helped to invent the bomb machine, which helped to end World War II because we were able to decode Germany's secret messages, which was amazing. And so many women worked in all these different places too, the different RAF operation rooms, and at Bletchley Park, helping to maintain these machines and send and receive messages, which I think, maybe sometimes a lot of people forget about that. They don't realize all of the contributions that women made to the war, because they weren't necessarily on the front lines, but they were still in positions of great danger. In some cases, they were, sent behind enemy lines in France to, to work with the French resistance there. And I mean, they were issued guns and knives and secret radios. So that was all some of the things that I learned about while on my trip visiting the Royal Armories and RAF Uxbridge and Bletchley Park. But, those of you guys who are YouTube watchers, which we all are because we're all on YouTube, watching YouTube right now, I've gotten many messages about Miles being featured in the DX Commander DX Fest video. So, yes, we went to DX Fest, which was amazing. Got to meet Callum. That was tons of fun. Callum.
Let's put a pause there. Like, I was blown away because, I watch Callum in general, and I'm in the living room on a Saturday morning watching the video, and I'm like, oh, this is an interesting one. And then not even 2 seconds as I kind of look down at my phone, I hear your voice, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? She didn't mention anything at all, and, now she's front and center. So.
Well, so it was. First of all, I don't want to give away the plot. If
you haven't seen the video, it's been a week and a half out, so.
I could just pop up at any time, any moment, so be prepared. And second of all, so I didn't know about DX Fest when I planned the trip, right? So we actually, DX Fest was on August 15th, and we ended up, I planned the trip that we were going to London on August 13th. So we were sort of on the fence about whether or not we were going to go to DX Fest, because where we were staying in the East Midlands, where Mike lives, is sort of like in between where the DX Commander place is. It's sort of in between Mike's place and London. So it was about an hour and a half to get there either way. But it's just, we ended up sort of driving, the 3 hours south to London, to Uxbridge, where we were staying. Then we had to kind of drive another hour and a half back north to go to DX Fest. But it ended up being completely worth it. And, petrol's kind of expensive. So that was one sort of consideration that, one reason why we didn't want to try to do so much back and forth driving and try to do things in order if we could. So we would have went to London on the 15th if I knew that was the case. But then we went to Bletchley Park on our way to London, because they were both sort of in a row. But that's okay. It worked out. He had some great deals on DX Commander poles. So he had some B grade poles. They were 10-meter poles, I think. They were only 25 pounds. So Mike picked up 2 or 3 DX Commander poles. So he was really happy with his purchases there. I couldn't really buy any DX Commander poles or kits or anything like that because I couldn't fit it in my luggage. I actually had to buy a bigger suitcase while I was there to try to bring things home. Besides the fact that I brought home 2 containers of Quality Street, and one was supposed to be for me to keep and one was supposed to be for me to give away, but I think I might just end up keeping them both because I can't stop eating it. I really shouldn't keep it right next to my computer. Also, this humongous bag of sweets, so all of your typical British sweets rhubarb and custard, chocolate limes, I'm trying to think, lemon sherbet lemon, what was the other thing that was in there? Oh, barley sugars. Let me see. What other wrapped up candies did I have in there? I can't even remember, to be honest. I got so much candy. Oh, yeah, Parma Violets. I actually ordered a 24 pack of Parma Violets off of Amazon because they happen to have those. And Love Hearts, which are so cute. They're like our little conversation hearts, but they're just a little bit different. So, I had to bring back the essentials, right? The essential candies and foods. And I could have brought back, like, if I could have brought back curry sauce to go on my chips. And if I could have brought back, they had these amazing, you know how like we have like cup of noodle soup? Well, they have these things, they're called pot rice. And they had like chicken tikka flavored, butter chicken flavored, chicken korma flavored. And it was like, just like a quick, easy little snacky meal that when you're coming in from a day of like running around and you don't want to cook something, you just, boil the kettle, pour some water in there, and
throw some wood in the stove and heat it up.
In like 3 to 5 minutes, you have this delicious meal.
Okay.
So the other thing that I brought back is, if you guys, who here has ever heard of Kendall mint cakes? Oops, that one's upside down. So these are Kendall mint cakes, and they're basically just blocks of sugar, okay? And they're really weird. They have sort of like this waxy, sugary flavor, and I expected them to have a more grainy texture, but it really wasn't a very grainy texture. But so basically, this food, this Kendall mint cake, was first successfully carried to the top of Mount Everest on the 29th of May, 1953. It was the first successful expedition to the summit. So that's sort of what it was made for, was to be like, this was like the first energy bar. Basically,
it's pure sugar. Of course, it's gonna be.
Yeah. So
hard crash.
So like I did try a little bit. This red one here is brown sugar flavored, and then this blue one here is just plain white sugar flavored. So I did crack open the brown sugar flavored one, and I did try it a little bit. And, it really doesn't taste much of anything except for, like I said, mint and wax. Ingredients: sugar, glucose syrup, water, and peppermint oil.
Ugh. That's an old style candy.
It's not really a candy, though. It's hiking fuel food.
We call those protein bars, and they have a little bit better taste and definitely offer. Are you like, when you eat that stuff, do you feel like you want to go back to the old days when you had scurvy on a boat? Like, kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy.
But yeah, so that was sort of like the bulk of what I brought back was candy. I brought back Jelly Babies, but I already ate them, so I'm already looking for like, where can I get more Jelly Babies.
Dave hit it on the head. Yes, you brought back diabetes.
Yeah, pretty much, because I just I brought back all candy. I did, like, I tried to buy t-shirts where I could for for souvenirs and mementos and memorabilia. So like I said, I got my Bletchley Park t-shirt on. I did get like a lot of, almost everywhere you go has, like souvenir guidebooks. So I got a lot of souvenir guidebooks. So of course those are heavy when you're packing them in the suitcases. I did get this really cool book actually at Tank Fest. So at Tank Fest, they had this really great little bookstore where everything was super discounted. And I would have bought more books, but again, I was mindful of the fact of like, okay, this is my first week. I can't just buy too many souvenirs because I won't have room to get them all home, and they're super heavy. But so this book is originally in the U.S. It's $37.95. It's a hardcover book. In the U.K. it would have been £29.99, and at Tank Fest they had it for £3.99. So this book, if I can get it to show up without losing my face, it is called U.S. Army Signal Corps Vehicles from 1941 to 45. And so it just has like all these really cool pictures and descriptions of like every different kind of vehicle that the U.S. Army Signal Corps used during World War II. And yeah, so like there's there's like whole like wire. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to show it with my face. So there's like whole like wire spool trucks in here, and I just saw a picture of like somebody was releasing carrier pigeons from a truck. Listen, carrier pigeons played a very important role. Here's like a Jeep with some radios in it there. So this is a really super cool book. So that was one of the things that I brought back that I looked at. So
did you? I have one side question that kind of popped in my head. Did you? Because I'm also stalling for time for a second. Is the you hug your tank books or whatever they were that you got that you wanted me to go pick up before you left?
Oh, so I didn't get those yet. So
oh, you haven't?
No, so I gotta look back in my Discord and see who it was that I asked to go pick those up and go and get them from them. So yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, I think I did talk about it when I came on the show one day while I was there in England, is I was scrolling Facebook Marketplace and I found this person in New Hampshire that was selling all of these old Army technical manuals for different various operations, a lot of them being radio and antenna related.
Yep.
So, obviously I was in England. I couldn't go pick them up myself. So, I ended up, I asked Eric if he could pick them up, but he was like on vacation still, so he couldn't get them. But I did get somebody from Adventures in Wonderland to pick them up for me. I think there's like 25 Army technical manuals from around, I'm not sure if they were all around World War II or if they were from like the 50s and 60s. I gotta look back at them again, but he was originally asking like $20-something, and then he brought it down to $10, and he brought it down to $5. And he said, he was like, when I messaged him to ask him if they were still available, he was like, oh, I'm in talks with somebody over them. And I was like, okay, well, how about if I pay you twice as much as what you're asking? So instead of $5, I'll pay you $10 if you'll sell them to me instead, and I can have somebody come pick them up tomorrow. So he took the deal. And so I'm gonna have all of these Army technical manual books, which again, super cool. I can't wait to get those and look at those and read those. For if anybody here, like if you guys follow this guy Max Miller on YouTube, his channel's called Tasting History with Max Miller, right? And he does all these videos where he makes recipes from throughout history, and we're talking anywhere from ancient times up to kind of like maybe 50s, 60s. But he has done this series a number of times where he actually cooks recipes from the Army recipe book. So I actually found a PDF of like the 1940s World War II Army camp kitchen recipe book. So I've been kind of like reading that. I was actually really surprised that they had in there a recipe, which you don't really need a recipe for it, but they listed iced coffee, right? So we all love our Dunkin' Donuts or our Starbucks or our Costa iced coffee. That is, I pretty much only drink iced coffee, although I did have some hot coffee while I was there because I couldn't always get iced coffee. But so I was really surprised to see that iced coffee sort of was like maybe like popular in the 1940s in the army, and the recipe was basically like just what we would do today, right? You make the coffee twice as strong and then you pour it over ice so the ice dilutes the coffee down to sort of like a normal level.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, right? Like if you are fighting, especially in the Pacific theater, you do not want, hot coffee. You are already hot enough and sweaty. So,
Ice is
so
the thing.
so yeah, iced coffee. Iced coffee was probably the thing. So that was cool. And
All right.
our RGD radio down in my channel said Costa in England is nicknamed Costa effing Fortune. I mean, yes, getting coffee out is expensive. It is a treat. There was a Starbucks that was only like maybe 10-minute drive down the road from Mike's place, so I did sort of like turn him into a little bit of a Starbucks snob. So my new favorite thing to get was iced maca, and you have to say it like that's not a mocha, it's a maca. So
Okay. So I want to ask this question because I'm going to pop this over here. So, you guys can go watch this whole full video, but I'm curious, and I'm actually very proud because you're wearing a Live Free and Ham shirt. But you're probably making Todd, if he actually paid attention to watching this, very happy. I didn't even know you had this shirt.
what, the Ham Radio Found Me shirt?
Yeah.
How did you not know that I have that? That's like the first things that I ordered off of Live Free and Ham.
Uh, uh, there's a lot of people that order a whole lot of different things, and so I kind of think they're like, okay, who's got what? And every once in a while,
I mean,
I'm always surprised people wear our stuff.
And that honestly is how I feel, is that Ham Radio found me as a hobby. Okay, I didn't go looking for it; it found me. So I love that shirt.
It is, and here's the other thing: is like if you look at her face, she's probably like freaking out inside, but she's calm and cool in this photo. Yeah, she's not going to say anything.
I mean, so like I was sort of, I didn't want to just like go up to him and meet him, right? Because like, okay, he's a YouTube celebrity, he's a ham radio celebrity, but
Whoa, you didn't want to go up? If I rewind this video a little bit, the guy he was talking to before, you were standing in the back waiting for him to finish.
I mean, I was, yeah, but like, so I was sort of like waiting, and I was going to go up, and I was just going to be like, hey, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Shannon. I've watched you, on YouTube live stream a few times and but I didn't want to, there was other times that I kind of saw him like walking or whatever. So I didn't want to just like accost him, right? Because, like I was just saying, so yeah, he's like a YouTube celebrity, he's a ham radio celebrity, but he's just like a normal guy, right? Yeah. And, he's got stuff to do and he's got people to meet, and, I don't want to just be like some weird, crazy fangirl. So, but then, well. So then, I was, so I was just like kind of sitting there watching him, and then he actually came over to us to introduce himself to us. So that was, really cool and nice. And then, like I said, what happened, he kind of took Miles under his wing, and I was actually surprised to see the RSGB was there, had a presence there, a table. They were selling some books, and that was actually perfect, because one thing that I really wanted to get was I wanted to get an RSGB logbook. Now, I have to say, the current RSGB logbook, like I wanted it to have like this, like, I don't know. I think that the ARRL logbook, it has this like nostalgic look to it, and I really wanted the RSGB logbook to also have this nostalgic look, but it wasn't quite as nostalgic. So RSGB, if you're listening, please make your logbook look older and more nostalgic, because then I will like it more.
They're trying to capture the young audience.
but you know what? There is listen, okay? I watch a lot of YouTube videos about nostalgia, and right now there is a huge push for people, Gen Zers, to like push away technology and go for the nostalgic, go for the analog. Okay, so I think that if you can make your logbook look more nostalgic and more analog, because how much more analog can you get than a paper log? I think it will make it more popular.
You can
Like
add
I
pen and quill.
listen,
We're gonna go that route.
listen, I already have typewriters, right?
Yeah.
If speaking of which, if anybody knows a good place in or around the greater Boston or southern New Hampshire area that I can get my typewriter fixed, there was a shop in New Hampshire that specifically fixed typewriters, and apparently they just closed in April. So that was rather disappointing. But I need some help getting my typewriter fixed. My 1930s or 40s Zephyr, Smith Corona Zephyr that I had picked up before I went over to England. But yeah, now you made me like lose my whole train of thought here. What I was talking about.
It's okay. There'll be plenty more. I've given you like.
Yeah.
There'll be
Yeah.
much more.
So, oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. So, like, if you look at, so I'm gonna have to get Mike to post me a picture. He has a very old, I think it's Yesu. He has a very old Yesu logbook that literally has been his logbook since like the 1980s, and he was showing it to me, and I love how like because I mean, back then you had to keep a log, right? It was required. So he wrote all these little notes like, station closed at.
When?
It's from the 1980s.
You weren't required back then.
What, you might have been in England.
Okay, well, here in the U.S., that's been a thing of the past, but yeah.
So he wrote in his logbook, like, when he moved house, like, oh, station closed at such and such address on such and such date and time. And then he wrote, station opened at such and such address, such and such date, such and such time, all that. So I thought that was like so cute. And it has a red cover, his old Yesu logbook. It's just so nostalgic looking. I don't know how else to describe it. It has this look, and I need other people's to, I need other companies, other paper logbook manufacturers to copy this look. And yes, Adam, Shannon, after 3 hours of POTA, okay, I'm at the bottom of the log page. We're done, right? So that is definitely, that is how I determine if I'm done with my POTA. I generally don't like to end my POTA in the middle of a page. I want to end at the bottom of a page. So when Adam and I just did a POTA, which if you see this picture behind me, this is a picture of Adam and I's POTA QSO map from Wednesday. The bands were on fire on Wednesday afternoon and evening. We had
Literally, like, you came back and my phone is blowing up. I'm like, she's already doing POTA? My gosh.
We had an amazing POTA on Wednesday at Great Brook Farm State Park. We had something like 92 contacts, and it was like over 100 QSOs because we had people that were in like 3 furs, 4 furs, 2 furs. It was amazing. So and I even went on 40 meters, guys, and you guys know I don't like to go above 17 meters really. But I ended up using my Wolf River coil to its fullest extent, and I got it to tune on 40, and we made some, local contacts on 40. We made lots of contacts on 20. On 20, we were probably on 20 for most of the time, and then 15 was really the best band for the DX, as it usually is. So we got a lot of, a couple England and some Europe there on 15 meters. So,
wow. All right. Well, more to come with Shannon, I'm sure, because we've got several weeks and a lot of great topics and stuff like that. But we'll give an opportunity for Shannon to compose her thoughts a little bit, put a little effort into organizing stuff, maybe put a slideshow for you guys. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But, if you want to see more of that, you can obviously check out her channel. As always, if she posts anything there, definitely seek her out on Facebook. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. And if not on Facebook, hey, come back to Brew and Activate next week. She'll have more slide presentations. Maybe if we go more analog, she actually might take out the old slide Polaroid projector and run that in the background.
Listen, okay, don't threaten me with a good time.
I know.
I don't have an analog. I don't have an analog slide projector, but I do have a projector that I have used to project like backyard movie nights. So I could potentially put together an old school.
Only if that's like 480p. Then that would qualify as closer to analog than digital. So if it's 720 or 1080, then go back to the slides. But I'm sure you can find a great slide projector somewhere on Facebook Marketplace.
But then you have to get the pictures printed out on slides.
You're already going to put together an album and print, so why not do it?
I don't know where there's anyone that will print things on slides.
There's
you want to talk about stuff being expensive. That is definitely like niche. So that would probably be rather expensive.
Is it not worthy of it?
Well, so if you want to talk about like old weird analog niche things, look in the Live Free and Ham Discord under the crafting subject. So I recently sort of discovered or rediscovered this craft that I used to love to do when I was a kid, and I'm hoping that I can get Miles into it. So did you guys ever make sun prints or cyanotypes with this special blue paper that is sunlight sensitive, and you would take and you'd put like leaves and flowers or whatever on there, and then you'd leave it in the sun for a few minutes or whatever, and then the sun would affect the paper, and then you'd rinse it off. You'd have these white images with the blue background. So I found a place when I went to this. It was actually completely unrelated. It was the Framework Knitting Machine Museum, one of the places that we went to, and they had these kits for it. And I was like, oh, Miles, I used to love this. Let's get it. Let's do it. And I got this whole book on, making cyanotypes. And I found out that you can buy the chemicals to make your own cyanotype paper. And you can do so much more with printing cyanotypes than just like sticking leaves and flowers on there. You can actually print cyanotype photographs, and you can make your own photographic negatives by printing the pictures on a regular inkjet printer, and then you actually like coat the paper in paraffin wax, so then that makes the white parts of the paper see-through, so you make your own photographic negative, and then you can actually print photographs on cyanotype using the sun. So that is like my next niche hobby that I'm gonna give a go.
All can be found over at KC1OHT, N1JUR.
Bob has never heard of the cyanotype paper. It was very popular, like in, I want to say, like the late 80s, early 90s, the Scholastic Book Fair kits. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like that is definitely where I got that from.
It's definitely out of Bob's wheelhouse still.
Yeah, maybe Bob might be. Yeah, so that he might be too old for that, but maybe his kids or his grandkids.
They still, I'm sure they are. Grandkids definitely. Kids are a lot older. So, all right. Well, let's shift gears here a little bit because we can definitely go on, and I'm sure they're here to obviously hear you and your updates, but they're here for the POTA roast. I mean, that's the kind of highlights today. But just want to catch you up on a few things. Those that have been kind of with us through all of the shows to date. Last couple of episodes, we talked about the 10-day challenge or 10 activation challenge, and there are a few that actually, stepped up to the plate. Sean reached out to me, Beater Jackhole. I don't know if I saw him in the chat there. And do me a favor while I'm talking, Shannon, check the private chat. And he posted something back saying that, he's been doing it. And one of his comments was, he oddly enough, and I'll read it here, is when I walked away from a park with no internet or the bands were really crappy, he was able to successfully activate the park without using, spotting or whatever. And so he was more excited that he got the park and logged 100 contacts without any internet. And he was quite happy, as he says. The park tried to beat me, and he won. So, yeah, these are the things, guys, that we're trying to stretch ourselves a little bit. So if you missed that episode, that was our no internet episode last week. You can go back and catch the highlights there too as well. And so it was a challenge I threw out to all you guys, as well as coupled with maybe that 10 activation challenge where we're trying to stretch ourselves a little bit and work on developing our experience and stop the kind of developing bad habits. So we're definitely keep pressing on with that. So if you've got a couple, head over to our Discord, share that, and let us know some of your stories and how you're making out. I know I'm still getting my head deep into propagation and trying to learn more of it and get my head wrapped around it versus just trusting the information and really understanding it behind the scenes. And lastly, if you are followers of Shannon and I, and many others here in the Northeast, this Saturday is coming up, the Northeast Ham Radio. Mike has, N2MK has graciously taken the reins here, and of course, he is dug deep into, his his old archives in his brain of the X-Files, and so, if you haven't, the link is in the chat there. You can definitely make sure you come check us out on Saturday. We're going to be diving into trusting no one, along the lines of, X-Files and ham radio. So, come check all the shenanigans out and, hang out with us. You're going to be there, Shannon? Is it your plan or no?
What, Northeast Ham Radio?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to be there.
Well, we're away.
I'm already planning. First of all, even when I was away, I was on Northeast Ham Radio.
Once.
We only had it once when I was away.
Okay.
Wow.
I retort my comments. It was Grouch that I was having blanks with.
So yeah, I'm gonna be there. I already am planning on either today or tomorrow. I'm gonna go over to Total Wine in Danvers. Apparently they have the Copperberg cider, which I was drinking in England, which I really liked. So hopefully the internet is real and true. The Google AI knows what it's talking about, and they do have it there. So I'm gonna go there. Hopefully get something to enjoy and imbibe in for tomorrow. Cool. And, yeah.
Yeah, I have to, now that you're triggering my thoughts, my beer fridge is probably empty, and so I might have to go refresh that too as well. So, yeah, that's at 6 p.m. Saturday, Eastern Standard Time. So please, come on, hang out with us, guys. It should be a blast. It's always fun. And definitely, we always go off on a tangent somewhere. I'm sure Shannon's going to drag everybody us which way, and we'll probably dive into some of her, escapades over there in the other side of the pond. So, very cool. Okay, well, Shannon, you want to go through the roll call since we hadn't had a chance to do that, and let everybody say hello to those in the chat?
Yeah, now that, we've had some time for everybody to get in there. Obviously, we know we have Bob. We have Roger. Good morning. We got Joe, KI5WWT. We got the Brocam. He caught me in the chat over at Ham Nation the other night. We got Nathan, MM9OCC, one of my good friends from OARC. Who else do we have there? James, KI5OEB, as always. Dupa. We got Peter Shipatelli, who is W1DAD, who is one of the people that we contacted on our POTA on Wednesday. So that was a really fun and exciting to see him in the chat. And we have, my POTA accomplice, Adam, Alpha 1 November. Ham Radio QRP K0KLB. We got Mad KX2. We got KB5UTY. Seed Studio. We got, let me see, who else? M1SDH, good morning. We got Hamman CT, who is out in the park. So if he's still out in the park, be looking for him on the
He's
air.
FT8, guys, so just make sure you're searching for FT8.
Okay, yeah. So get on FT8. Feel free to drop your band, whatever band you're on there, Hamman CT. Drop it in chat, and we'll
40, I think he said he was earlier.
and we'll try to get some people out there to hunt you down. We got Bricker House. Anybody else different? I think that's pretty much everybody in your chat. And then in my chat, the only different person that I have is RGD Radio. So that is pretty much that is the Brew Crew as it stands at this moment. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining in and being here with us today for the POTA roast.
Yes,
POTA
and
bag
just hanging
roast.
out with the Brew Crew. Awesome. All right, well, let's kick over to our usual POTA minute here. Okay, well, those just, yeah, you already hit it up there. Good. Okay, so we're just on sync or ahead of each other here. So, yeah, he's still on FT8 over there. So check him on 40 meters and make a contact with him. Say hello. Well, FT8 him. Can't really say hello. Okay, so this is the POTA Minute. For those that are new here to Brew and Activate, please put a 5-9 there in the chat just to let us know that you are new, because we always like to make sure we recognize new folks that have checked us out and have found their way over to us. This is the POTA Minute. It's one small idea, one real-world observation, and roughly 60 seconds, depending on how committed we are to accepting the definition of a minute. So this week kind of coincides with our POTA roast here, and it's titled, Every Item Needs a Job, guys. 100%. We've seen the submissions, and those have had a chance to check them out. They are over on N1JUR.com, and you can see them as we go through them. Maybe you've checked them out. If you hadn't, no big deal. We're going to go into them in depth here. Shannon and I will be the judges, the jury, and the lawyers, supporting or fighting against these bag submissions. But yeah, every item needs a job. Pick one item in your bag. Ask, what problem does it solve, guys? If you don't have an answer, then why are you carrying it? We've talked about this several times in a couple of past episodes, so go back to the back catalog where we talked about your POTA bag and equipment and items that you may or may not, always take out to use. And, you need to think about your POTA bag doesn't need to be smaller, but it needs to be intentional. And so let's stop carrying around those, write and rain notebooks if you never go out and do POTA in the rain. Or maybe you're...
I don't think anyone ever plans to go out and do POTA in the rain. I think rain just happens.
Well, rain might happen, but if you're out on a picnic bench and you obviously don't have all of the rain gear with you, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to pack it up. You don't want your gear to get wet, right? So you're not going to be that dumb idiot who's sitting on the park bench while it's pouring and your radio's getting soaked. So think about those things. If you plan for them, awesome. Then hopefully you're doing more rain activations than the rest of us. So, all right. Well, that's the POTA Minute, guys. And so we're going to waste no more time here, and we're going to pivot over to our lovely, POTA Minute here. Why am I talking to myself? We're going to POTA roast here. So let me just do a little kind of tweak because I was playing around with some of the stuff here with Shannon, and it's all messed up. I forgot to turn it all off. So doing that. Anybody new there in the chat that have just checked us out? I didn't see
just KE6GAE, the Hillbilly Ham, just showed up. So good morning. I already said good morning, Tim, in chat, but yeah, I was like, oh, you just missed the morning roll call. So we'll get him in there.
Cool. All right, let's turn off one more thing here. So we've got all good, and then where's my slides here? Is that the one? No, that's not it. Why is that back in there? My God. Keep Mux man.
Oh my!
Screw
This
things
guy's
up.
supposed to be the professional.
Yeah, I was. Not today though, apparently.
He has completely broken the stream.
I have. I don't know why all of a sudden where did the rules go? It totally went away. What the heck?
No rules. Well, you know what? Rules were meant to be
We
broken.
broke in? Yeah, that's what I hear. Let me grab that slideshow here then. Uh, do. Why? Put a bag roast rules. There we go. All right. So now that we're all staged here.
Yeah, and then Jason KD2UDR just showed up down in my chat. So hello, Jason. Good to have you.
Okay.
There we go. You got your POTA bag rules now.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know what the heck happened, why all of a sudden things got relabeled, but EVMux has been doing some weird things. But hey, that's the problem with streaming services. They do what they want and they don't tell us. Okay, so let's kind of go over a little bit of the rules so you know what the heck's going on here. We had a whole bunch of submissions. I think we had a total of 8, so we're going to go through 8 separate bags. And the rules of the show are pretty simple and straightforward here. Obviously, we judge the bag, not the operator. All of us, it's more about teasing a little fun and having a little bit of a deeper dive in people's POTA bag roasts, or not a deeper dive, depending on the photos they submitted. We based it off all of that. And so we're going to judge them on 5 criteria. And so those criteria are as follows. So the first one is obviously mission. And what we mean by mission is, does the gear match how they activate? Simple and easy. If it does, great. If it doesn't, then we're going to kind of explore a little bit further why and maybe make our judgment calls on that. Does it go off of reliability? Can this thing survive something that maybe is going wrong, or weather changes, or whatever be the case? Are they equipped to do so? Third option criteria is weight and bulk. Yes, this is a category that a few of the participants definitely are going to struggle with, and looking at their submissions, you might feel the same. Versatility. Are they capable pivot on a lot of different scenarios? Are they able to go digital to analog? Are they able to go from laptop logging to paper logging? That kind of stuff. And then we're going to talk about questionable decisions that both Shannon and I think, kind of throw a little bit of a question mark above our head, a little maybe a red flag. And then maybe we're going to see if we can try to decipher. And if they are, you guys are here in the chat, then, throw in your, the reasoning why. And so we'll make sure, we share that with folks. Again, really the goal today is to learn, laugh, and steal some good ideas for your next activation, because that's how we learn here. And again, in the N1JUR Brew Crew community here, we're all about sharing and learning and growing. So yeah, if you've got a POTA bag and you want to share it with us, head on over to the Discord there. We've got a POTA equipment shack section, and you can post that stuff. And we all kind of learn from each other and have a few laughs in the between and go through a lot of, interesting discussions, to say the least. All right, so let's talk really the bottom line with this whole entire exercise and fun activity. And again, I have to thank Chris Bricker for coming up with the idea. It was a pretty cool, he had brought it up a couple of episodes before. I said, this sounds like a great idea. I mean, we always do the shack roasts on Live Free and Ham once a year. And so I said, well, why don't we do this over here at Brew Crew and have a little fun with it? I kind of brought it a little further because I think in part of this, it was one way to reward those participants that are participating in this event, with a way to say thank you for submitting your bags. And so we've created a badge system, and Shannon and I will appropriately assign a badge to each of these people, and as a way to say thank you guys for submitting your bags, I'll send out you guys a sticker pack with including these limited runs of the badges. You can't get them anywhere. I might turn them into badges for YouTube for members, but the stickers will be limited and only available to obviously those that are in the POTA roast. And maybe if I can convince otherwise, maybe sell them as a pack. But we'll go into those in a second on the badges. But got to remember, guys, there's no perfect POTA bag. And I always have this question come about all the time with folks, is that they're like, oh man, what should a POTA bag look like? What should it consist of? And I'm like, well, it's the old adage of it depends. And bottom line, same thing with POTA bags. There's no perfect bag. It's only what you've optimized for your activation. So whether you're like Shannon and you're analog and you got the POTA wagon, or you're like myself and you have very specific bags for QRP and beach activations and the regular run of the mill, going out to record, a video, with my radio kind of setup, or you're in a mobile setup, then, all more power to you because that's totally okay. It's one way we can all kind of, be able to play our favorite hobby in whatever capacity we want to. So that's where, I want to drive home here, guys. It's not that you have to have the perfect setup because if you think you do, you're probably lacking in a few areas, and that's totally fine. All right, and so let's go over our badge rating system that Shannon and I will use today. There are 6 badges here, and we've created a scoring system. And so let me go over them really quickly. The first one, obviously, is the Boy Scout. Prepared for literally everything. Those that get that honor can wear it proudly on all of their POTA packs, as well as, if you're a laptop sticker aficionado, you can affix it front and center. The next one, going from top to bottom, is the the ultralight. The ultralight is one radio, one antenna, one dream. These are those that are QRP enthusiasts. They like to have small light setups, and they're always looking to shave ounces in the long run, and deserve the ultralight badging system. Next one is what I call the Radio Shack. You got an adapter. You're the guy to go to or the girl to go to. You carry every single adapter, plus the ones you don't really have for any of your own radios, just for that one rainy day occasion, or maybe a weird SMA to SO239 pigtail, or an end connector that you think one day you might run into when you're out there doing a POTA activation. Then you might fall into the Radio Shack badge. And so the next one is the Apocalypse activation. These are the folks that they're preparing. They may have some prepper bend, but at the same time, they're all about like, if the world ends, I want this gear to be 100% there, available, and ready for me to just jump in and be able to save the day. So you'd fall into that apocalyptic activation. Last one is kitchen sink. There are a few in this round this group of POTA roast submissions. That's the word I was looking for. Man, I just drew a blank there. They do look like the kitchen sink. Bottom line is that they've got everything in there. They take nothing out. They only add. And so, it is one of those things that we will dive into. And if you get this badge, wear it with honor. And the last one's the mad scientist. These are the folks that maybe take something to a extreme level, like maybe they love 3D printing, and so everything in their entire POTA kit is got to be 3D printed, and they would do nothing else otherwise. Or they're the ones that carry like an analyzer and a VNA and all of those tools to be able to just really analyze what's going on. They're more about the building than they are per se about the activating. So those are our 6 badges. And everyone in the submission list is going to walk away with one. So I will be reaching out to you at the end of the show to send you a N1JUR sticker pack. And if I get Shannon to send me a couple of hers, maybe we'll throw in a few of our new M0OHT. Have you gotten new ones yet?
Yeah, no. So I actually have to get like new everything printed now because obviously I have a different call sign and I changed my logo a little bit to match with that. So, I gotta get new stickers printed. I need new eyeball QSO cards printed. I need a new name tag printed. So I gotta just get new everything printed.
Grouch, well, you have to submit your bag first. You didn't.
and yeah, if any of you guys were at HamX actually mentioning that, Adam here is in the chat. So Adam made some really great, I might even still have it in my logbook here because he gave me one on Wednesday. He made some eyeball QSO cards to invite people to the Adventures in Wonderland Discord server. And they have a QR code on the back. So, that might be something that I end up adding to my own. Yeah, it must have fallen out of my logbook. Um, I'm sure it's around somewhere. But yeah, so that might be something that I end up adding to the back of my eyeball QSO card is some sort of QR code that either directs people to like my YouTube channel or one of the Discords. So if you were at HamX, if you saw Adam, let us know if you got one of our little eyeball QSO cards.
Cool. Very
And
cool.
yeah, Grouch just rolled in, Mike rolled in, Tortoise
Tortoise.
rolled in.
Good to see you guys getting out of bed.
Yes. Out of bed and on the YouTubes.
Yeah, very cool. All right, and then if we have time, because obviously we can't do this for 3.5 hours because all of us have lives and work, and it is Friday instead of a Friday evening. Yeah, we might do a kind of combination. We might pick this up later in the next episode as talking about. I want to see what you guys would put together as a POTA bag, and what you guys think in the chat would be, each of the best components to create the ultimate POTA bag there. So we'll dive into that a bit. But if that's something that interests you, then stick around till the very end, and hopefully we'll get to it. If not, we'll definitely pick it up in future episodes. Okay, so let's set the stage here really quickly. So let me turn things on, turn things off here. I got rid of the rules. And let's move good old Shannon down to the corner where she's not getting hidden here.
Nobody put Shannon in a corner.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so we've got a system here. Let's go here. Turn this one on. I just turned myself off. There we go. Nope. I should label these better. There we go. Finally moving along. Okay, so what we're going to do here is the rules are pretty simple. I'm going to basically go through the list here, starting from top to bottom as it is listed on the website. And so if you want to go check it out, you can head over to N1JUR.com, POTA-bag-roast. And that link is somewhere in the chat as well, but I'll grab that later and post it. But we'll go over the bios really quickly, give you a little bit of an explanation as to what they submitted on, and then we'll dive in deep to their photos. Some of them may be pretty detailed. Some of them are vague. It's based off of what they decided to submit to us. And then at the very end, after Shannon and I have kind of torn into them a little bit and given our comments and feedback, and feel free, guys, to chime in there in the chat. We'll give you our stamp and badge rating of approval. That way, you get to see kind of where we think they stand and what honor they deserve from a badge standpoint there. And so let's get this one more thing set up here. So the first one we've got, let's make sure that's up. There we go. BIOS. Okay, let's kick this over here. Okay, all right, so voting system's all good. First participant and person focus. Did I lose internet here?
No, you're
Okay,
still good as far as I can see.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I was going to say my live stream from the studio disappeared. There we go. All right, so first one is Kilo Echo 9 Delta Oscar Delta Sierra Kilo. Mike, he's from Illinois, full service activator, and he's rated his bag called the Pack Out. And you might have seen this one because I do remember seeing some of these on, I think it was the POTA bag, or was it the POTA challenge that they used to do? You remember, you've seen those videos, right? Is that what they call them? They run them down like in Florida or whatever. You've seen the competition they do every. Oh, you haven't?
No
Oh,
idea
okay.
what you're talking about.
So there's a competition, I guess. It's called the POTA bag challenge, and they run them through a whole bunch of. K Murder does a bunch of videos on them, Frank and a few others. So I've seen this bag before, or maybe seen parts of it or similar. And so in his configuration and what he calls his activation style is full service, bring everything set up. So this kind of falls into one little category for sure. And he says what's in his bag, or in this case, boxes, his 891, his FT150, radials, wires, cutters, wire strippers, chargers, and crimpers. He thinks his most essential component to this whole entire kit is his radio, which one I don't know. And he wants us to roast all of it. So I'm going to say, he has submitted basically 2 photos here, and the closest one is obviously the shot of him. Here we go. If I bring up this, you'll see the first one there. This is his full setup here as a wide shot. I wish I could zoom it here up a little bit, but the picture was a little small in submission. Shannon, what's your first take on it?
I mean, my first thoughts, I was like, forget POTA wagon. This guy must use a POTA dolly. Because it's so like stacked vertically. But I really like this setup, and I wish that he had said what battery, like how much battery power is this thing carrying? Because it doesn't say. But it looks like, I'm kind of looking at my own little thing where you sent me the pictures. He's got like a battery box down there at the bottom where I think he has different inputs that he can probably, like plug in different radios and possibly, charge up phones or tablets or whatever else, you might need or want on a POTA activation.
Yeah. Well, he's got the POTA wagon built into it. I mean, that looks like a walkie pack out, and I'm sure it's probably the last bottom part has got the wheels on it. We can't see that in the shot here. And so I don't know if you noticed, he's got a huge mast that's affixed to the side of it. So literally like pop the lid and go maybe?
Yeah, this thing is amazing. And, he gets extra points instantly because he has HF and VHF, UHF capabilities. So, let me see. He didn't really put on there like what his antenna setups are either. Right. So he has the mast, but I'm not sure like what kind of antenna he's using for, HF versus VHF, UHF, and he only has one mast. So how is he deploying multiple antennas at one time? So, this is sort of like raising more questions than it's answering. So I do wish that he could, I wish he was in the chat so that we could ask him questions and get some answers. And Paul, it is not overkill for an activation. Okay, there is no such thing.
He's got a pretty the bottom base box here in the zoom photo. He's got a bunch of switches. Looks like a control panel.
That was the thing that I was saying. I think is his battery box. So I'm curious to know what is the amp hour of his little battery box down there, and. Yeah, I think that's a solar panel that he has folded up on the side, so he can deploy that and kind of like keep his battery charged up a little bit.
Yep. I have no idea what the second base is. So if we're looking at that little orange box, does he really need another? What's in that? It looks like a battery box. Maybe.
Well, I think so. In the top box is where he actually keeps the bodies of the radios, right? Because you can see the 2 bodies, and then you have the 2 face plates on the cover there, which is very clever. And then I think in the middle could be where he keeps some of the tools, because he did mention that he has radials, wire cutters, wire strippers, chargers, and crimpers. Yep. So he could keep some of that stuff in those drawers there in the middle.
Oh, Mike is in the chat. There we go.
But he does also have the orange box on the left-hand side there, which is, could be more tools.
Okay,
Mike,
so
Mike is in the chat.
He says it's 150 amp hours. It's capable of solar charging. Okay, Mike, what is in that little orange box on the left? Is that the battery itself, or is that separate?
Oh, he said that's a 2 amp hour box.
2 amp hours. What are you charging at 2 amp hours? Wow, that's crazy. Okay, what are you running for antennas? If you want to throw that there in the chat too as well.
Yeah, maybe you heard all of our questions that that would love answers. So I know we're not voting yet, but I mean, with 150 amp hour battery and capable of solar charge, that may actually change my he said separate box. It's 20 amp hours. He fat fingered it. Okay. So, now knowing that that's 150 amp hours capable of solar charge, that may change my vote for what I decide to put this in. But, I really like this POTA setup. I feel like, this is something that is after my own heart. I could totally see myself just wheeling this out into the field. And you don't you barely even need a picnic table for that at this point, because it's like everything is already in a container. I mean, you might need some place to put your logbook to log.
Now, Mike, what is at the bottom there? I'm trying to figure out that panel there. Is like that just a number of different switches? Like, so what are you supporting? What does that panel support per se in your whole entire radio setup? And why is it at the bottom instead of more towards up the top, or is that just because that's the configuration for the wheels, or always curious. So he's got a spool tenna, 17-foot whip, a Faraday for 270. Nice. So he's got most of it covered. Grouch is warming up to it. He thinks this would be a good field day box.
I mean, so, and he says for field day, this would be cool. POTA might be a little excessive. Imagine having to hike with that thing. But it's not a soda. So we're not summiting. We're not, hiking with it. We're just, we're POTA-ing. We're going to a park. So, you're going from the parking lot to the picnic table, which is probably 20 feet? 100 feet maybe, if that. And it has wheels, so that makes it easier, right? You put wheels on anything and it makes it possible.
Yep. Yeah. So it's not versatile. So if we go back to our judging criteria, does the match, so the mission, so does the gear match the activation? Yeah, I think so. I think it pretty much covers, what his plan is for being able to do multiple bands and multiple modes. It seems pretty reliable. It probably takes a beating. There's no doubt in my mind that it is well protected and makes it overall not a bad setup. Although for me, I think if we were to look at it a little deeper, having those extra boxes with it might make the travel aspect of it a little tough. Because it's just one more thing to kind of carry and pull at the same time. But weight and bulk, we know that this is a behemoth. It's gonna require. Do you know how heavy it is, Mike? Curious overall. And then versatility. Yeah, it's pretty versatile. There's no doubt in my mind he can do field repairs. He can definitely pivot. Okay, well. I think with that, because we don't want to spend a ton of time, we have so many more to go, but thank you for submitting your bag, or we'll say, I don't know what to call this. Well, your pack out, we'll call it.
It's not really, can't really call it a POTA bag, because it's more like a POTA trunk.
Yeah, exactly, right, yep. So, all right, go ahead, Shannon, and pick your rating there. I'm going to go through here.
For some reason my badges have disappeared.
No, they should be on that little other studio mode there.
Now you just made them reappear. So
yeah, well, they're not going to show on the live preview until we're ready to submit said vote. Let me go here. I gotta figure this one out.
Now it's not clicking on the right thing.
Just click on Shannon's vote on that little middle pane there, so
which one is that? Slides. No, that's not the one I wanted. I can't find the right one that I want. Okay, that was the right one that I wanted.
Okay,
look, we're in agreement.
We're in agreement. All right, guys. Okay, so the votes have been cast, and so for Mike's K9DSK's pack out, both Shannon and I think he is the apocalypse badge. we know who to go to when the world is on fire, and we still need to get on radio. Mike is definitely the man of the hour when it comes to that, and he is well equipped. So thank you for a submission there, Mike, and yeah, awesome little setup. So question for you real quick, Mike, do you participate in that POTA challenge that is run down in Florida, or is this a different pack out that looks similar to some of those?
So, and while we're waiting for that answer to come from him in the chat, originally I had said that this was the Boy Scout, but then that 150 amp hour battery with the solar charge capability was really what kind of put it over the edge and made it the Apocalypse,
Yep.
the Apocalypse activator for sure.
For sure. Yeah, it definitely. The batteries alone, the solar, the radios, and the fact that he's got every tool probably under the sun, although we didn't see all the tools inside, we can assume that he's prepared for pretty much everything. All right. Contest in Texas. Okay, yeah, that's where it was. Not Texas. Not Florida. It was Texas. Yes. So very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you again for your submission, Mike. And so let's get on to our next one in line. And this one is from Steve, M1SDH, over the pond there in Wiltshire, England. And so he's labeling his pack, what he called a short hike pack. And he labels it as light-ish and always ready. And so let me go into a little of the background here. So he says his setup is a Zygu G90, end-fed half-wave from radio stuff, a 6-meter telescopic fishing pole mast, and a 6 amp hour LiFo battery. His philosophy is a compact 20-watt station capable of roughly 3+ hours in the field without requiring a tree for an antenna support. Nice. He thinks his essential component, obviously, is the antenna, which definitely is important. Because you can't play radio without one. And he wants us to roast his electrical tape mast attachment, which we'll go into a second. So let's do a little zoom in here of said bag here so we can get an idea of what we're kind of looking at. And so, yeah, Shannon, what your first thoughts are? I know what mine are.
So, he instantly got like brownie points for being from England, right? For being an M1 call sign. And brownie points because he has my favorite radio in the bag, the G90, which, we had arguments about last night.
But yep.
So, okay, discussions.
Yes.
And and what he didn't mention in his little note was that he also has the little handheld in there. So, always good to have some options in terms of like HF, VHF, UHF, things of that nature, even if it is just a handheld. So, that was my kind of first impressions on this bag. The things that I'm looking for, I'm looking for, like you said, versatility. So multiple different band abilities.
He's got a bongo tie addiction.
I'm sorry.
Oh no! Actually, no. So my mistake. That's the antenna. I was actually looking at a different. His antenna. Oh, he's got a very cool color wire. I like the teal. That's pretty nice. And
well,
yeah.
If you get BN Tech Go wire off of Amazon, you can get like any color. I've had like purple, pink, blue,
Nice,
green, red.
He's definitely running some filters, and it looks like I don't know whether that's off his antenna. I assume the upper part of his pack is his antenna. Let's see if there's other shots. Okay, so this is a wider shot in his bag here. So if we go up to the top and look here, so yeah, that's all of his wires. Very well organized. Nice. Yeah, like
yeah, I think that was one of the notes that I said. Was, very neat and tidy and organized.
Yep. So, yeah, I think the one thing that jumps out at me that, you haven't failed, you didn't mention is his background.
Oh, does he have because he has a pink background?
I was very that was the first thing that just kind of hit me in the face was like that pink background. And
maybe it's probably actually red. It looks like maybe a red tablecloth or something like that. But the camera could be making it look a little bit more pink.
And that's totally fine. I approve the the background there without too much of an issue and doesn't bother me. It just hit me in the face when I first saw it when I started to go through these slides here. So
So you
I
think
like the bag.
do you think maybe he's trying to like play a little bit favorite?
Yeah, I think so. He's already gotten one brownie point being from over the pond there, and he's scoring good with you. I like the bag a lot. It's a nice light bag. He's got a good mast, compartment. And what is that connector that you have? If he's in there, Steve, or if you're in the chat there, say hello. Let us know, and feel free to chime in. Yeah,
Is that the electrical tape thing that he was talking about?
Or oh no, you know what that is? That's the typical wrap. Like I've seen that before. Now that I'm looking at it a little deeper, let me see if I can zoom in here.
Electrical tape antenna mast attachment system.
Yeah, so we zoom in here a little bit, see what that looks like.
Yeah, it almost looks like is this a
Paracord.
Oh no, I was gonna say, is this a camera backpack? Because that's almost what it looks like.
Yeah, it's definitely a camera style backpack where the side openings and all the other stuff. So definitely good use of a typical bag.
Does double duty, right?
Yeah.
If you're into cameras, like I do have a Nikon D5100 that I brought with me to England that I let Miles take pictures using it. So yeah, always got to be thinking. We have to be thinking of ham radio operators, like not what is this thing, but what can this thing be?
Yep. Yeah, he does a very good job of organization. His G90 is nice and nestled in the middle of the bag, and all the radios have components. He's able to fit in his HT, even though, like you said, he didn't mention it. Yeah, nice job there, Steve. I am very impressed with, you win brownie points for the organization and being able to find something, at a pretty quick notice. And, that for me is a big important thing. And so, yeah, I mean, he looks pretty well suited for a QRP kind of light bag. Anything else there in the chat there that we want to throw in?
Yeah, and he is in chat,
good.
M1SDH.
Cool.
So he said to attach the wire to the mast, he just uses electrical tape every time. He probably needs something better.
Okay. Well, you might want to consider those gear bag ties, or the ones that like kind of act like what were those kids? What was those things the kids we used to play with that were felt like, and you could bend them into weird things? They were called. My gosh, I forgot what they were. But either way, it sounds like something you just need that's got like a little bit of grip. The gear ties bags that you can get like at most hardware stores and stuff like that come in a different set, or even on Amazon are a great fit for that. To get away from the electrical tape, which I'm sure you probably get in your fingers sticky a lot, especially in warm weather or conditions that aren't that great.
Do these masts, they don't have
Pipe
like
cleaners, yes.
they don't have like a ring or a clip or anything up at the top that you can put the wire through?
Some do, some break off. I won't say how I know that, but they do. Like that last section is always super flimsy.
They're sort of thin and flimsy. I get that. So I mean, at that point, and I know like Matt N3VAN, like he has those little clips that you can buy. I would just buy another clip and tape it on with the electrical tape, and then you're not taking the electrical tape on and off every time. Yeah. Or even like instead of like zip ties. Zip ties literally are, the thing that holds the universe together. People think it's duct tape because it has, a light side and a dark side, but it's zip ties.
Yeah.
I use zip ties for everything.
Well, there's I saw a couple of zip ties out there. You probably see them. They use a lot of them on towers that have like a rubber inside on the zip tie, and they're actually like zip ties that you can reuse. They're not like kind of a one type thing.
Yep, reusable zip ties.
Yep, yeah. So that might solve some of your problems too as well. Yeah,
so
we are old pipe cleaners for sure.
Yeah, so he did say it did have a clip on the top of the mast, but it was too small for the wire, and it always pings out, and it broke off. So,
I do have to say, nice job on the wrap of the paracord there at the top of your antenna.
And Ham Man says he has a fishing swivel to run his end-fed half-wave wire through. So,
good idea. Very cool.
Like I just said, don't look at something not what is this, but look at it, what can this be?
What can it become? Yep.
Yes.
So, Steve, do you happen to know how heavy the bag is overall with everything in it? Curious, you didn't post that in. You said light-ish. Are we talking like less than 10 pounds kind of thing? So while he's doing that, although he
Yeah.
has a, God,
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's like I feel like was that like a criteria that we needed to put on here is
no.
people need to put their bag on a scale.
So, we could have really gone to like an nth degree
We
with
could
this,
have,
but I
yeah,
think
we could have really gone to to quite the level, but he did put we can clearly see the battery there, so that's good.
yep.
That's an important component.
At a 20-watt station, so yeah, 6 amp hour, so very cool. All right, well, I think anything more comments there in the chat? This one is aces in my book in terms of light-ish. I like the fact that he's well organized. He captures my Type A personality there, and so he obviously has got scored points being a British call sign and over the pond with Shannon. So, all right, let's go to the lovely rating system there, Shannon, and give it a shot. Widen it over here so we can see.
No, that's not the one I wanted.
There we go. We'll probably be about the same. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what kind of takes the cake. All right, here we go. We are the ultralights. So, yes, Steve, you classify as an ultralight badge. So, thank you again for submitting your kit. Yeah, not bad at all. Good, layout there. But again, maybe change the background. That's all.
No, never change. Always be yourself.
Okay. Maybe
And
that wasn't his self. I don't know.
so, oh, that was a very polite roast. Thanks. Well,
Yeah.
uh,
That's right.
I'm trying to channel my inner British and be very polite. Just for you. But, so what I was going to say is I don't think that this is the lightest one that we're going to see because I think there is at least one person who is lighter. So, I wasn't quite sure where to put this one, but I think ultralight probably is the best category because it's like, not quite Boy Scout maybe. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that POTA bag.
Very cool. All right. Well, this next one, we are still staying on that side of the world here. We are going to pop over to M9OCT. Samantha, she's from United Kingdom, and she also classifies her bag as short hike. So she's calling the bag QRP QRMX, which I think is apropos for what she's got set up in there. Her setup is the home-built QMX paired with an ATU-10. It was kit-built and a 49-to-1 transformer from Radio Stuff and an INI-U power bank. I've never heard of that one. Nice. Yeah, very cool. It must be a small little form factor power bank there. And her philosophy is small, lightweight, and multi-mode. CW is her preference, which you can definitely see that there's absolutely no mics at all in her design. And the kit, and CW is her preference, but the QMX provides 5-band capability with sideband, digital, available when conditions demand it. And so she thinks her essential component to the kit is the QMX, which I would agree with. And she wants us to roast the 3D printer addiction, which we'll go into a little bit here. So yeah, what's your take on here and first looks?
So, again, instantly gets points in my book for being from the UK and also for being a YL. So, double extra points there. And then, so this one, very, very neat, very tidy, obviously looks very light, very small bag. So I'm trying to find, like, where is the 3D printer addiction? Because I'm not really seeing it, although I do see, like the 3D printed wire ties. And unfortunately, my stupid computer keeps, like, I don't know, making a blue background over the picture, like it's trying to select it.
Over it.
Yeah,
Selecting it,
it's driving me crazy. But listen, if I had a 3D printer, I would also be addicted to printing things. So I cannot blame you for that, Sam. I say if you have it, use it, right?
Yep. I don't see. Yeah, there's not much 3D. Well, there could be. I mean, obviously the CW keyer could be 3D printed by the looks of it. Maybe if that's
And like
possible.
Sam also has a very cool patch on the bag with the name, the call sign, and the Union flag. So, extra points for that as well.
Yep. There we go.
Um, I can't
Yeah.
tell if that's a propelling pencil or a pen. So extra points for that, whatever it is. It is an analog writing device.
Yep.
So get extra points for that.
I think from a
Let
standpoint,
me see.
yeah, I don't
What are
see a whole lot of
they?
3D printing per se, but she's a big bongo tie fan, or that's not a bongo tie. Those are the flexi, what I was looking as pipe cleaners, but they're rubber coated and really great. So definitely good use of that, and those things are super ultra light and very handy.
Yeah, I was just trying to see, obviously because she has a pen there, like people didn't exactly put in how they log. So, I don't see any notebook or logbook or paper, so I'm not sure how they're logging. I'm assuming they're logging on paper, but anybody that logs on paper gets extra points.
For you, I
From
prefer to.
me,
Yes,
yes.
from you. Do you get, she does have wow, actually good use of the coax there in terms of small and ultralight again. Um, although I'm trying to see, so like in this photo, you see you've got the QMX. So is this bag multi kind of tabbed? Because like you go to this second section, or this section here, and this looks like it's a separate compartment. Like it's the QMX isn't even in that view. So that for me is a bonus points for sure. Being able to have multi compartments and multi layers there. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, this is the QMX, and that looks like the tuner. But I don't see the other side. It must be a separate side to the bag, maybe, and that's just what we're not seeing here in this photo. In the combination of the bag. So not quite sure. Yeah, the logging piece for sure is a question for me, like Shannon mentioned. So I'm curious to see if Samantha is there in there. If she can kind of explain that a little bit. But I wonder how much battery life she gets out of the power bank there, because that for me could be, whether you're versatile enough, being able to, operate for longer periods if you needed it. But yeah, this definitely fits the mission category. Definitely good. Are great on activating. They are very purpose focused. CW for sure. Although I'm assuming she's probably not bringing a mic with her. I didn't see the mic in here. So even though her radio offers it, she probably is not using it.
Yeah,
All
she
right.
did say, she prefers CW, but, the radio can be used for SSB and digital. And, she built it herself. So
Yeah.
she
Points
gets
for that.
definite points for that.
All right. Well, there's not really much to roast here. I mean, this is a well organized bag. This is, a nice setup for all. And I think I would be proud to use this myself and getting it out in the field. And, although I'm not a CW person yet, it's definitely set up for, say one mode over, say, many modes. But she definitely sounds like she could adapt if she needed to. Can the QMX? I can't remember. Maybe the chat knows. The QMX itself, does it have a built-in mic, so you just basically key a button, or no?
They said that one picture shows a paper log at the bottom. Oh, maybe I'm seeing that now. The picture that shows the QMX
So that's the
and
first one.
the wire at the bottom. You can't see it on here because our votes are covering it, but there is a little paper log notebook there.
Okay, there you go. There it is, hiding
So
in the bottom.
that was a good catch. Who it was that said that? That was Bob. Thank you, Bob, for catching that. You're
Nice.
amazing.
Yeah, it's actually, if you want to follow along with photos, you can head up to POTA, the N1JUR POTA bag roast. I'll throw that in the chat again, and you can see all of the photos yourself there. There you go. There's a UR. Okay. All right. Well, let's throw our hats in there and cast your vote.
Well, I already knew what this one was gonna
Yeah,
be.
it's same for me too as well. I think she very much
Yep.
takes the ultralight badge there. Great job there, Samantha. Thank you again for submitting your kit, and it's very purpose focused. So awesome to see. All right, okay. Let's go to our next one in the roast here. This one is none other, and he is still in the chat, I think. This would be go. All right. This is Mike here, N2MAK. He had done, and again, thank you again, Mike. I know you were tearing into your kit on your own channel. You had done a video, so if you head over to his channel, I don't have the video link here, but you can see his explanations to all of his setup and what he brings. But this is his QRP QMX. Sorry, my mistake. Wrong one. Here we go. He is calling this the QRP Poppy, and there's not enough P's in there, so I'm tripping over my words. So he calls this QRP Poppy. And his is the radio is an ICOM IC705 protected by a side KX cover, a POV cage, custom battery, original backup battery, and a 5.5 amp hour Denko battery for full 10-watt operation. And my first question to that is, I'll get to in a second, around the battery. His support system is a DigiRig cable, iPhone logging, and SDR control, paper backup, nifty manual, a band plan, clip lights, multi-tool, repair supplies, RG's 316, 174 coax, and a homebrew choke. Nice. His antennas and supports, a Reliance 56-1, nice job, and fed bug out, linked 12 17-meter antenna, signal stick, a POTA 20 mast, the murder spike, fishing rod, spike, stakes, cord, and gear, and ties. And he wants to let us know his essential component is his iPhone. Wow. You call yourself a ham radio operator?
It's not the radio, folks.
And he wants us to roast his twist ties or ShamWows. And so let's zoom this photo up here a little bit and see really what he's got. Go grab and crop this a little bit. Stop. Let's shrink it down so I can crop it. The joys of editing live. We're going live.
So, as who was it? I think Grouch said, look at that mat. It's huge. I want to know, does the mat fit in the bag? Or is that, sold separately?
To be honest, I watched the video and I can't recall if he said it did or not. I think he carries it separately because we all know this is the Mega Mat or whatever Quirky QRP has up on his website. And this thing is massive. It literally, as you can see, this is a park bench.
It takes up the entire, I think it's a picnic table,
yeah,
right? That's not just a park bench.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's much bigger. So it takes up quite a bit of space. And in that case, where that picnic table is all that wire mesh, everyone knows you always lose something, especially if it's small or something gets stuck. So, yeah, having the mat is great. Props to it being branded appropriately. But if we keep going through some of the slides here, this is his bag itself. So I'm assuming everything except the mat falls into this bag. So not too bad, packed down wise.
He did say the mat is separate. He doesn't always bring it, but the bag lives in his car.
There we go. Another one of those car dwellers. And nice
Listen,
organization.
if you just leave it in the car, then you're always ready for that emergency POTA. You never know when a POTA is going to pop up.
Right. I do because I control it. POTAs aren't like DX hunting. Like you can decide if you go to a POTA or not. Like with DX, you have to be waiting for DX all the time. It's
you've never been just driving down the road on a Sunday drive and you see a sign that says, National Park or State Park this way, and you're like, oh, I wonder what that is. So you just stop there and then you decide to POTA?
I don't have the luxury of just stopping at a POTA park when I'm with said wife. It's like they're usually scheduled in most of the cases, So, like my Fort Dummer one was a perfect example of that one. That was all scheduled. So, no. The answer is no. All right, so let's do a little deeper dive here on some of his deeper tools here. So looking too far ahead. Okay, so this is his mat here. So he's got all the bases covered. I mean, there is a little confusion because the band plans and all that stuff kind of hide some of the details here. So I'm kind of a little suspicious he's trying to hide something, but let's see if we can do a little quicker zoom. Although I did see his video, so I can say that he has confirmed a lot of the stuff in.
I have to give props to Mike here, and also the other person. Did we already go through that person's bag? We might not have, but he has his little nifty mini manual for his ICOM IC705.
Yeah.
So, great little reference to have, in case sometimes you might mess something up on your radio, right? Like I did it with my G90 before, where I accidentally put the G90 into split mode and I didn't know that I had done that, or you can't remember how to change the filter width on your G90 because you don't do it all the time. So if you can have those little manuals or cheat sheets to help you kind of fix those problems on the fly, especially, you might be in a place that doesn't have good cell phone service or, whatever. So Mike gets extra points for having that. And, besides, he has the mat there that has his band plan on it, but he said he doesn't always take the mat, but he has a paper band plan printed out as well, which is, they have that. Actually, no, do they have that? In the back of the ARRL logbook, they have, a lot of different reference stuff. They might not have the band plan now that I'm thinking of it, because maybe in case the band plan changes, they don't want to print it in there. But, they have your worked all states map, and they have some other things. I think they have some grid squares here. They have allocation of international call signs, so you can look up by someone's call sign where they are. They have Q codes and the phonetic alphabet. So I love, you guys know I'm an analog girl. I love I love having paper. And Adam, is it a vintage / nostalgia band plan, Shannon? I mean, it's paper, right? So that makes it vintage, nostalgia, analog.
Is your band plan mic laminated?
He said, I need to reprint my band plan because it has the older 60-meter band. I realized that by doing this. So you're welcome for me pointing that out, that you need to reprint your band plan. And I hope it is laminated. I would, one of these days I am going to, I'm going to get one. I'm going to print it at Staples on nice thick cardstock because, cardstock feels so nice, and then get it laminated. And, that way I'll be prepared with my band plan, because I reference my band plan all the time. Even though I am, I'm an extra, so I can use all the bands, all the band width. Sometimes I just forget where those band edges are. And, as we all know, band plans in other countries are different. So a lot of times I'm looking up the band plan for England and Europe, and I'm looking up my band plan because I'm looking at where they overlap. So if I want to get that DX, I need to go into the portions where our bands overlap so that we can get the DX.
100%. All right. So that's Mike's bag there. Any feedback there in the chat at all? Otherwise, I think very well rounded.
What's with the SD card?
That is for the 706 or 705. Sorry. You want to record stuff or backup memory or whatever.
So you can record your CQ.
Yep.
I never do that. I just call CQ. I don't have a recorded CQ call. I think I can do that on the on all my radios too.
I'm with you on that for sure. All right. Well, let's do a little cast of a vote. Nice job on the setup there, Mike. I appreciate you submitting your bag, and thanks for letting us take it to the table and
Listen,
analyze it.
we can't just keep agreeing.
Well, it is kind of what it is. All right. So as Shannon and I are pretty much in transition, in sync here. Yeah, well, we think you grab the Radio Shack badge, Mike, because you kind of got all the bases covered, even down to the analog level. So
I think the picture that shows it more is the one that shows everything laid out on the map, because what made it for me was the fact that he has that little, like, is that BNC
yep.
to like PL 259 or whatever?
No, he had the Wago connector to power pole too as well. But yeah,
right. He's got that connector. He's got the other connector right next to it. He's got like another power pole connector thing to like a 1/8 jack or something like that. I don't know what that is to charge up or power a radio or something else. But yeah, he had a good amount of little random connectors in there. So that was what made me go for the Radio Shack on
very cool.
On Mike. So well done.
Right. Very good job, Mike. Thank you. So let me transition to this next one here, and then I got my dog down here in the corner badgering me, so I need to move him back upstairs and close the door. So let me pivot over here. We're going to go to the next one is Rabbit. And
Rabbit.
So Rabbit submitted one photo, and I'll go over the description. Actually, if you can't read that slide there, Shannon, if you wanted to read it, or if not.
No, I can pull up the description on my end. And
go ahead and give it a read. I'm going to kick the dog out. Be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. So this is from Rabbit Ham N3SMD. I don't know if he's in the chat or not, but thank you, Rabbit, for sending us your pack. And you said your bag nickname is the Rabbit Bag. Okay, that makes total sense. Your typical activation style is full service, bring everything set up. Well, I hate to say, compared to some other people who are literally bringing everything, I don't know that this bag quite fits that category, but we'll see. So what's in the bag and why? You have a FT891, a 15 amp hour battery, ATU 100, 25 feet of coax, Rig Expert, Boxo adapters, Reliance antenna, notebook, and pen. Well, you instantly get extra points in my book because you have a notebook and pen. And the one item you swear is essential is your box of adapters. And the one item that deserves the roast is the wire management. I mean, the wire management looks neat to me, so I don't know why that deserves the roast. And you said your roast level is full send, maximum meme energy. I mean, I don't really see that there is too much here that, needs to have, a full send, maximum meme energy. Everything looks really nice and neat and tidy. And I have to say, around your 891 there, I like that little cage that you have. I don't know if that is 3D printed or where that came from, but I like how that comes out above the knobs on the 891 there to kind of protect the front faceplate of the radio. That is really nicely done. I think I have that same coax. That's the ABR 25 foot of POTA coax. So extra points, well done with that. It's Armolock, according to November 1, Oscar Grautzer, according to Paul. So, so far, I'm liking this bag. It's very neat, very tidy. I think, is that a Velcro that you have around the coax there? I mean, you got reusability there. With the Velcro, and you also have a handheld. So again, extra points for having that versatility of having HF, but also VHF, UHF. So I always like to see versatility in the POTA bag, the POTA setup, especially when you POTA with other people. So you can just get those, those person to person 2 meters, 70 centimeter contacts in case, you're in like a POTA emergency and you're not going to make the activation. You can at least get, like two park to parks on two different bands when you're putting with another person. Like, I think if Adam is still in the chat, we sort of forgot to do that when we were POTAing together, but we didn't really need to because we had so many contacts. But you want to get like that N1CC POTA award where you have to where you have to activate the park on like 8 or 10 different bands, something like that. I can't remember what it is, but so we were able to get you can get 2 meters, 70 centimeters, and then Adam actually has this Yaesu handheld that does 6 meters, which is pretty cool. So if you can get like 6 meters in there as well, that's a good way to do that. Although I did genuinely, I think wasn't it you, Adam? I genuinely contacted you on 6 meters one time when I was at Willowdale State Forest. I took the 17-foot whip and, collapsed it down all the way. And that makes it work on 6 meters. And then I did the FT 710 there on 6 meter FM, and I think I tried to key up like a 6 meter repeater, if I remember correctly. I might have even taken some video of that because that was
Okay.
super cool.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that.
All right, welcome back.
So you already go through Rabbit's background.
Yeah, so I read the description. I talked a little bit about the bag.
Yep. Only one photo he submitted.
Yeah.
Because I figured one photo just needs to stand alone, apparently, Rabbit. I don't know. Setup seems pretty straightforward. I mean, there's not much outside of all the critical components there, I think.
Yeah, so he says in his description that his full service bring everything set up, but I don't know that he is actually bringing everything compared to what we've seen so far of people who actually do bring everything. But I really like this setup. I think it's very neat, clean, organized. And he said we needed to roast his wire management, but his wire management to me looks fine.
But my only gripe would be the fact that that bag must kill his back because he's got like a rigid panel in the bottom of it that's holding everything in. And can you imagine having that on your back and just constantly driving I don't know. For me that would be uncomfortable for sure. But it's interesting.
Well, it depends on how it sits on your back because, I know, obviously from Peter being a hiker, he has these hiking backpacks that they have a metal spine down the middle of them.
But they're flexible, a little bit.
They're not really flexible. Actually, they really force you to stand up super straight. And for me, they never fit me properly because obviously he was, 10 or 11 inches, taller than I was. So, a bag that's built for him, a man, isn't really built for me, a short woman. But yeah, they really kind of force you to stand up straight and have proper posture. So, and that's one small metal spine, though. It's not a metal or rigid plastic insert like that one is. But, and it depends on how this bag is worn, too, because he didn't show us multiple pictures. We're not seeing, is this actually a backpack? Is it a crossbody bag? Is it just a handle bag? We don't really know how he's wearing this bag, if he's wearing this bag. But I actually liked the, I mentioned that I liked the metal armor lock, I believe Paul corrected me that it is, around his 891 there. Protects the front panel and the knobs. So I really like that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, overall pretty simple. I mean, there's not anything in here that's making you want to roast it more. It's kind of basic. Basic in the layout. I mean, it's not complex. It's not like a let's just throw everything in there and see what happens, kind of thing. So great job on organization there. Although I'm not seeing like a lot of, um, say better wire management per se. I mean, it seems to be pretty well organized. I don't know. Yeah, it just seems to be a good overall bag. And so I guess from a 5 category rating, yeah, I don't know if this is how he activates. Like, I mean, he could activate this. Does he like take this out of his? Because I've seen a lot of his activation videos, and he mounts this on top of his dash in the truck. So, like, is he taking this out every time and just basically setting everything component wise up all along every time he does an activation?
Yeah, I mean,
don't know.
it seems like you could just leave everything in the bag and it's just like a man pack, pretty much. You don't even have to take everything out, which, in some ways it can be good and nice and convenient. And he did mention somewhere, I think he said, that he has a notebook and a pen, so he gets extra points for being analog with a notebook and a pen. I think it's not pictured,
No,
but
it's not. Which is a bummer.
maybe it's in a front pocket that we're not seeing.
That's possible. Very possible. Good on the analyzer there. The HT must be dual band by the looks of it. Outside of that, pretty, good overall POTA bag for sure. I mean, he obviously is very much sideband only, I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah, I don't think Rabbit does CW.
No, or even digital for that matter, yeah.
Yeah, well, digital's kind of boring when you're out in the field, so.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a personal opinion. We'll move on.
Unless you're doing fun digital like SSTV or Feldhell.
Okay, so those modes, yes, I agree, but at the same time, I feel digital is like one of those, like if you go out with a buddy and you're doing, an activation, a lot of times you can't always have a conversation when you're, on sideband all the time because you're always like, oh, I got to pick up that call. Oh, I got to pick up that call. And you spend most of the time playing radio, which is fine. But FT8 allows for like that. Like I would do an FT8 activation with a new ham who is kind of mic shy, just as an example to kind of get him going. I mean, Grouch used to do FT8. I mean, he didn't do FT out in the field, but I mean, he's a perfect example of finally seeing the benefits of sideband and getting out there and doing it. So, that's where I think FT8 would shine well because it gives you a chance to talk in between conversations and not feel like you're missing anything. So yeah, overall, I mean, kind of checks the boxes as a good base foundation to build from. I don't see a lot of disorganization here, which is always good. And yeah, good layout there, Rabbit. See you in the chat.
No, I don't think Rabbit's in the chat, unfortunately.
Busy fighting fires. All right. Okay. Well, let's hit the ratings up there and see what we got. Let me go back to Zoom here so you can see it. Turn those back on. I am gonna pick. Nope. Right one here. Yeah, I see what you keep saying. He's not that. That's
What the heck? Why is it not showing up?
You see it now? Might have to click on it.
It keeps disappearing. There we go.
Oh.
No, that wasn't the one that I wanted.
Yeah, I see why when you click out of it, it goes away.
No.
Not that one either. I don't think that one is. No. See, I don't think. I think it's more that for me. Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna go with that one. All right, you got your vote in there.
I got my vote in.
Okay. All right. Let's transition. Yeah, we're a little differencing on this one. I think he's kind of more Boy Scout for me because it's pretty like he's prepared enough to be able to do what he needs to do, and he can get out there and make an activation happen. The ultra, wow, why ultralight?
A Boy Scout, you have to be prepared for literally everything.
No, the Boy Scout motto is be prepared, period. It doesn't mean be prepared for everything.
Listen, in the rules that you sent me, do not make me screenshot this. You wrote the Boy Scout, prepared for literally everything. So, he doesn't really have like any tools or spares or like connectors, so I don't know that he is prepared for any contingency. it sort of isn't ultralight because like an 891 isn't exactly the lightest radio, but
Yeah.
I do think that he is traveling pretty light for a ham radio operator, especially when you compare to what we have seen from other people.
True, but I don't think like it's ultralight in the sense of that it's like it falls like for me ultralight falls into a QRP kind of category. It's not like
Yeah,
you
it's
know
clearly it's not QRP.
he's carrying an 891. We
Yeah.
all know 891s
Yeah,
are
so
not
it's
ultralight.
not like it's not ultralight in an ultralight sense, but I don't think that he's prepared for enough contingencies to be a Boy Scout.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Rabbit.
I think he's a Boy Scout in training then, because we
Yeah.
don't have one.
Yeah, maybe. You know, he only has like one coax, one antenna,
Yep. Yep.
one radio,
One battery. Yep.
one is one. Yeah, one
Yep.
is none.
Two is one, right? All right. Well, nice job. Thank you for submitting there, Rabbit. Good to see. Maybe a few more photos might have pushed us over the edge in a different direction, but all good either way. All right. So let's flip those off here and head over to our next roaster here. And that is going to be. Let's go to this one here. This next one is a WI1ZRD Joseph. He is a New England native. I've popped into him. I follow him on Instagram a lot. He does a lot of, we'll say, activations here. And so we'll flip over.
I think I've met him
Oh, you have?
actually.
Oh, okay.
I swear that he came, and I think he's in chat. And I swear one of those days that we had at Adventures in Wonderland POTA, where like we were out all day and more people kept showing up. I think he was like on the other side of Great Brook Farm State Park, also activating.
Nice.
And I think he came over and hung out with us a bit. So if that was you, it was nice to meet you. If that was not you, I'm sorry, I'm confusing you with somebody.
Okay. Well, very cool. Yeah, I have not met him face to face, but I have seen him on the air and activated. So he is, I think, a primarily CW guy. So he is very much set up that way. And so this looks like to be his setup here.
He has
I should read his profile.
He
here.
has the
Maybe.
banana connector,
He
so
does.
instantly he gets, extra special points for that from me.
Yep. All right. So let's give you a little bit of background on him. So he's from Massachusetts. He says whatever the park demands. He calls his bag the Go Bag. His mission is maximum capability in a small portable package built around the Yaesu 818. Elecraft AX1 for 2040 meters. Elecraft T1 tuner, counterpoise, spark plug, end fed, half wave. Oh, that's what that might be that you're looking at, the banana plug there. And a throw bag. And so he's got a 6-meter whip, 2-meter 70-seater whip, tablet for digital operation. And because apparently normal antennas become boring, 2 coat hangers cut for a 2-meter sideband. He thinks his essential component to the bag is his notebook, and he wants us to roast his antenna. So let's do a little deeper dive here on his antenna here in the photo to see if we're...
Listen, I'm not roasting that.
No,
I'm praising that.
I think it's
Listen, if
impressive.
you except I will say one thing. No wire hangers. Okay.
Well, that could be just regular straight wire, but yes,
He said it was coat hanger.
Yeah,
He
it could be.
specifically said it was coat hanger. I think that is just genius level there, making the 2-meter sideband antenna out of the banana plug connectors, which everybody knows and loves. If every ham needs to have at least one set of those in their bag with, some wire or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, and so this must be some of his... I don't know, what is that? That's weird. Can't quite make that one out there in the photo.
Well, he is in the chat, so
go
maybe
ahead.
he can tell us what we are looking at
Yeah, well,
here.
what are we looking at here, Joseph?
Because the pictures were sort of like a little dark, a little blurry, a little hard to see everything that we're looking at.
Let's go here.
It looks like an Altoids tin of some type.
Let me zoom out here a little bit and see if we can get it.
Code paddle in the tin looks like.
Okay, let's go back.
So that
So
could
there we
be
go.
his Morse code paddle.
Okay. What is your
Oh
primary
yeah,
mode there, Joseph?
CW key and wire
You
in there.
you more
Okay,
Morse
yeah,
code or digital
yeah,
guy?
yeah. I think he's a Morse code guy.
Yeah, he looks it. Nice bag there.
Especially where you said it was a KX1, right? Was his radio. So,
No, his radio was an Elecraft AX1.
okay. Still, it's an Elecraft, so he's got a fancy schmancy bougie radio with the Elecraft there. Um, so, yeah, I think people with the Elecraft, they do tend to
There we
be
go.
CW people.
That's the 818 though. That's in the bag there. And so, are you, Joseph? Are you running the 818 primarily CW, or are you running that digital? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the X1's the antenna. I didn't think it was a radio. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. The 818 is his primary radio there. Now the tablet, all FT8CN. What are you running for the software there? Of the Brocam. Bougie aircraft people. I'm not jealous at all. So yeah, I mean, very well laid out bag. I have to say the bag's probably gotten some use for sure. So he's probably doing a lot of activations, and it's definitely getting its fair share of
Well, see,
wear and tear.
he's a ham after my own heart because except for the primary CW, I need to learn CW myself. That is sort of like the next
Sorry,
step
see.
on my journey. Now that I've upgraded my licenses to their fullest extent, I don't really have much of an excuse to not start to learn CW, but digital for mail and Vara C. And, I love WinLink. I hope he participates in WinLink Wednesday. I haven't been on WinLink Wednesday in a while because I didn't really have like a way to do it in the UK. Because the radio that is at Mike's house, the Sun SDR 2DX, I'm not sure how to get that connected to WinLink. But so I don't really remember seeing Whiskey India 1 Zulu Radio Delta on WinLink Wednesday, but maybe we'll start to see him on there. And then Varasi, I have been a Varasi enjoyer like almost since the beginning of when
Yeah.
that came out.
You are known as a Varsi queen on HRCC. So
Yeah, people come to me when they have questions about Varasi, and I try to get more people to use it because I think it's just like so cool. There is something so cool about, even though we do it every time we talk to somebody over SSB, okay, we're connecting radio to radio, right? But there is just something that is extra magical to me about sending data from computer, connecting via only radio waves. Like, same thing with SSTV when you're sending a picture over SSTV and you're just sending that image from one computer to another using only radio in between. It's just, there's something magical about that to me.
yeah, I'm with you on that for sure. That's one of my kind of bucket list goals for 2027 is to start to get into more of those modes and integrating those into a lot of my capabilities. Although there are new things like I know in our Discord we've had this discussions about the OTAs, and Grouch mentioned the APR, or no, sorry, Mike, no, Matt, N3VAN mentioned, hey, there's this APRS over on the air program, and so I got to check into that because that sounds very interesting to do from an APR standpoint. But again, it's one of those modes. So, all right, well, let's, great pack there, Joseph. Thank you for submitting it. I'm pretty satisfied with what I see.
And he said it reminds me of AOL back in the day. So yes, the noise of when you are doing Vara C and you're sending that data back and forth, it literally does sound like the dial-up modem noise. And maybe I'm weird, but that is like my ASMR. Like, I love the noise of the dial-up modem. So most people, like, they turn the volume down on that, but I'm like, I always have it on a little bit because I just want to hear it. I want to hear those little beeps and bloops and the little staticky noises of the stuff coming through.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I totally see it. All right. Well, let's throw in there. I mean, nothing to really roast. I mean, a great bag overall. Good layout. I mean, I'd love to probably see a little bit more of the, the logging pieces of it a little bit. But yeah, overall, great setup there, man. All right, let's throw in the vote there. I gotta go here. You already picked Shannon.
I did already pick.
You are.
I already knew what I was going to pick as soon as I saw that coat hanger antenna.
I am gonna go.
Do 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 do.
I think, yeah. I mean, that kind of fits the book.
I guess I probably shouldn't keep doing that theme because it'll get us demonetized.
It probably won't. Yeah, I don't know if that picks up on singing. All right, here we go. Here's the voting system. All right,
oh,
Joseph,
you're such
mad
a
scientist.
copycat.
Oh my gosh, there's only 6 choices, and I got railed really hard on the Boy Scout option. All right, well, thank you again there, Joseph, for jumping in and submitting your bag. All right, we have 2 left, and we're saving, obviously, the best for last there. Hopefully, he is still there in the chat. So let's set up for the next one here. The next one is going to be K8ARH, and he submits his bag here. Let's pull this in here.
I think, do we only have one left? Or
After
we have
this
2
one,
left?
yes. We have this one and one more.
I'm confused. Did we accidentally skip somebody? I think we did. Or you were saving that one for last because you think it's the best?
Not the best. It has the most photos.
Oh, okay.
He's an overachiever. And so, yeah, we have K8ARH and W9TEK is the last one there. That would be Chris Bricker. So let's dive over here to K8.
Oh, yeah, and this was one of the other ones that I was thinking of when we were talking about having, the instruction manual for your...
Got it.
For your radio.
Right. So this one is K8ARH, Andrew. He's from Ohio. Roadside picnic table is his category. He thinks he falls into in terms of.
Oh, this is the Brocam.
Yep. Yeah.
K8ARH.
Let me get there. My gosh.
He just said it in chat. That's
I was going to
it.
get to that point, So yes, thank you. This Brocam. He calls his bag the G90 everything bag. He's got a Zygu G90, another G90 lover, with mic, data cables, and manual, the Bioenno battery. Curious to see what size you have. N6 ARA, a tiny N6 ARA tiny paddle, nice. I always like to see those things. Palomar Engineering pen, and QRP reference notebook. I want to dive into those a little bit more for sure. His intended department is POTA Explorer 20 mask, ground spikes, arborist weights and line, spool 10 Ultra, a 25-foot RG316 feed line, ferrites, and BNC to PL259 adapters. His essential item to his bag is this BNC to PL259 adapters. I feel you're a man for sure. And he wants us to roast his arborist line, which in some of these photos, yes, it deserves a big giant roast there. So let's keep going through here real quick to see what we got for photos. Let me zoom back out here so you can see the whole thing here. So good overall bag layout, nice. And then here we go. This is his shot of his arborist bag and spool tenna. And my gosh, what are you trying to hang in the tree? That feed line, man, that's thick. Like, did they not have anything else there at Amazon when you got it? Because my gosh, that's yeah. Let me zoom in here. I'm looking at that, thinking, my gosh, it is a thick line. Any spool tunnel, nice. What's the red stuff on the tape? Is that a tape? What type of tape is that? Is that just like antenna marking stuff?
Oh yeah, it could be like the
safety
tape stuff.
Yeah, it could be. But that's some thick arborist line, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that is sliding through the branches.
I don't know.
I would not exactly call that like an arborist throw bag, but I don't do the arborist throw bag thing. When I first started doing radio, that was sort of my preferred way of like just putting a wire in a tree, but I didn't have a throw bag. So Peter and I would try various different methods of like tying a rope to a water bottle and like swinging it up in a tree. Or eventually I came to the conclusion of like I could use a small child's fishing rod and use it to zing the line up into the tree and then tie the antenna to it and then like reel the line back in and it would bring your wire back up, up into the tree and stuff.
Hmm.
Because I don't think that I could throw a bag into a tree with any sort of precision or ability, so I don't even bother trying that. Plus, like I always feel like we talked about this before. Some places don't want you to put the wire in the tree, so I'm always like afraid I'm gonna get yelled at by the ranger. So that's why I try to keep my my antenna
Impact
as little as possible.
All right, all right. I don't know where to go with this one. We're looking at, what the heck is this? Is that a Game Boy?
I feel like some of this stuff that is in the background is not actually part of the bag.
But according to said rules, any submissions are basically part of said kit.
Well, then, I mean, he's got like a Brocam koozie over there.
He does, yeah. I do see that.
So are we counting all of that stuff?
I think we've been kind of a little, lax on the roasting part of it. So,
So poor Brocam is gonna get the full roast because
we've held up to this point.
We're gonna talk about how like his shack desk is so messy.
No, we won't go that far. He's a YouTuber. He can handle it. All right.
He also has, some sort of multimedia memory card reader up there.
Yep. So
I think I don't know if this what this button thing is. Is that a Steam Deck?
That's a Stream Deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the computer side of that. That's no big deal. So let's go back to his antennas. The spikes. Not bad. I mean, he's definitely got a good setup there. There's the little N6ARA key. Nice. Very cool. He's got a couple of spikes there, man. My gosh. What are you trying to, stake down? That's impressive. You definitely have come to the table with options.
I'm surprised. So like I was saying, this was actually the first one I was thinking of. The fact that he has the G90 manual in his bag. I don't even know if mine came with a manual. Maybe it did, and I probably lost it over time.
There's the manual.
Or I just couldn't read it because it was probably bad translation. I did somewhere I had downloaded this cheat sheet for the G90, which was very very useful. But yeah, I fully applaud having the manual and also his little QRP cheat book there with the band plan, the phonetic alphabet, the Q codes, the different calling frequencies, the RST system, Morse code. So
now he did label this as everything bag. So does he? I mean, I saw the adapters for digital modes. He's got the keys for CW. He's definitely got the voice in there. So he's got all the bases pretty covered. How big's the battery there, Brocam? It looks like
it's 3 amp hours, I think. 12 volts, 3 amp hours.
3 amp hours? Wow. Okay, that's small. Maybe it might be 30, not 20. It might be 30 amp hour because that's a lot. Very little. Not for that size. I don't think it's 3 amp hour.
I don't know. I'm zooming in on the picture, and I swear that's what it says, but I could be wrong. It says 36 watt hours.
Oh, so yeah,
I think.
It's a 30 amp hour battery. Okay.
Nice. But yeah, so I'm surprised he has that little digital card for the G90. Mine came with a digital card. I don't think it was that one. It might have been the older version because I got my G90 back in 2020, 2021, something like that in the bundle from Radioddity. But I could never get that thing to work. And actually I was advised don't even try because they're so bad. So I got this wire from XG Comms that has the little built-in sound card that allows you to do digital modes with the
Right.
G90. And of course, they just have DigiRig, which they didn't have when I first started. Or it was like DigiRigs were brand new, handmade, and you couldn't get them because they were constantly sold out.
Wow, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, he's able to pack all of that, the G90 and everything, including the mass, all into that form factor. That's pretty impressive. That's like almost Q.
I
Well, it is QRP in terms of.
I think this bag is bigger on the inside. It's like a TARDIS.
Yeah, I guess he's gonna go that route. Anything can fit in a TARDIS, right?
Like I'm
uh,
kind of surprised the manuals fit in there.
you
The,
could probably fit them in
fold
the
them a
back.
little bit.
Yeah, fold them or whatever. Like, and so my question to you, Brocam, is how often do you reference said manual? Because I always contemplated bringing it with me, but then at the same time, I'm like, I just put it on my phone.
Well, that's why
And
those little mini manuals are so good too. That I'm not sure who it is that prints them, but they have them for basically every single radio that you could ever want. I don't know if they have one for the G90 or not, but I know that like especially if Brocam is switching back and forth between like voice modes and digital modes or CW. There is sort of a lot of settings that you need to go through in the menu of the G90 to do that. So I can see why he would have the manual to kind of help, kind of help him make sure that he's changing all the settings the way he needs to and make sure that everything's working the way it needs to.
yeah, I did see that Boondock Echo, but I left it kind of out of it because I didn't think it was part of his kit there, Chris. And so Joseph, yeah, that looks like a hose clamp. I assume you're talking about the POTA 20 there itself that you're seeing on the mast there. That looks like a hose clamp with the typical anchor lines with the small little S beaners. So, okay. So that makes more sense. So, am I correct in thinking, Andrew, that you got all of these extra spikes for the anchoring of your POTA 20 mast? Is that what they're for? The purple thing. Oh, that's a death spike. That is just one of those larger 3D printed kind of death spikes. There we go. So yeah, that's a typical like 3D printed top that I've seen before. The purple thing? Oh, I see. So that's the slide over. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, the spike goes in, and then that's just the center support for the mast. So that fits over the POTA 20. Oh, cool. Okay. Very cool. Nice. Okay. Well, I'm pretty. It's pretty well overall rounded. I mean, obviously the few things he throws in the photos to throw us off the trail, may or may not, add or subtract points in my mind. But at least we know he's. Oh my gosh. Well, he's got some bonus points for me now. I just missed this one. I should have picked up on this earlier. In the spirit of, you know, Shannon saying, that they're from over the pond. Well, hey, he's got a brew. That's not a Brew and Activate. Dang it. That was.
No, that's why I said he has. I think that's his own
That's
Brocam
his own Brocam one. Bummer. Okay.
koozie.
But I assume that's from Shane. Is that a Shane print? Throw that in the chat.
Because that would have been good if he put that in, put a Brew and Activate koozie
I know, he could have
in there for
scored
us
some
to find.
big
Next
points.
time we do roasts, guys, you guys got to like put in some little Easter eggs for us to find.
Yep. All right. While he's answering that there, yep, Shane broke that. I've seen that. Yep, Shane makes some good ones. I've got a bunch of Brew and Activate ones, so that's why I was like, oh, that's a Brew and Activate one. All right. Okay, well, let's throw our votes in here and see how it breaks out here. Nope.
Why is mine not showing up? There
I
we
just
go.
turned you on.
Oh,
I try to hide it. That makes it easier. Okay, so I've got to go find. Yeah, I would say that follows. Wow, you went the other way. Okay. All right. Well, I would say here we go. Shannon is a Boy Scout, which,
Well,
yeah. That was your pick, right?
I mean, yes, Boy Scout is my pick, but I am not a Boy Scout.
You're fine. Understood. Thanks for the
they're
clarification.
just they're
They're a little
just
bit
called
old.
they're just called
Just called
Scouts now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think the kitchen sink kind of applies here, and a little.
No way.
Yeah, come on. He's got every option there under the sun, including the
But
desk.
that's
I'm counting the stuff on the desk.
Oh, now you're counting the stuff on the desk. Okay. Well,
It's just-
no, I would say that he is prepared for everything. He has, he can do digital, he can do CW, he can do voice, and he's got, a mast. He can also throw a wire in a tree. He's got his little spikes. He's got his manuals, so
Wow.
that ranks high on the preparedness list.
Okay. Yeah. Way to justify everything. Got it.
Isn't that what this is all about? You're like, you must justify everything in your POTA bag.
If you want to be, if you want to take it for the spirit of the law or the exact law, it's your choice. All right, this is the last one here for the show. Thank you guys for hanging out till the very end. Although this is not just the way the order fell and when they came in, so there was no special order here. I have to say this entrant is a overachiever in his own right. He definitely sent his 3 photos in, but then said in his response that, hey, here's a whole library of photos of all of my bag because I don't think I can say enough in 3. Whereas like you look at Rabbit Ham and he's like, I can do everything in 1. It's perfectly fine. So all right, let's pop over here. This one is W9TEK Chris Bricker there. And so let's dive in here to his setup. And so I'll go over, these are just all in random order. So this is his, we'll say I call the teacher bag because it very much looks like the teacher bag because my wife
I called
has
it the
several
POTA
of these.
tote.
The POTA tote. That's a nicer way to say it, but it looks like a teacher's bag. And in it, it's pretty well laid out. I'm pretty impressed how he stacked this. He's got his bag bags.
Yes, he has bags within bags.
Yep, and so the nesting doll approach is taken in. And so this is the breakout here of I assume, the first bag that we pulled out of the tote. And in that, it looks like there is another bag. Is that the to look at it, as well as all the parts that are in that? So let's zoom it in here a little bit and see what we've got.
Is that a Crown Royal bag that like his mic is in?
Very cool.
Go down to the right.
All right. Well, so I'm going ahead and getting here. So let me read his bio here. His what he sent in. This is W9TEK. He's from Cleveland, Ohio. He says, bring everything. And he calls his bag the POTA bag. How unique and original. All right. Where do we even start? He says, well, he's got an FX4CR, a battle board, a dual boot portable computer, affectionately named the Crapopotamus. Yes, we all know that one well. Paper logs. He does everything antenna-wise, tuning with his Rig Expert stick. Pro, multiple feed lines, dummy load, and adapters for virtually every coax connector. And his antenna department consists of a K6ARK 20-watt end-fed half-wave, a KM4 CFT, I've never heard of that antenna, 100-watt end-fed, Reliance bug-out 56-1, a PAC-10 2040 linked end-fed. Man, he's got all the bases covered. POTA 20 mast, the holder, the guy lines, and the stakes. His radio support consists of RG316, a Cobra head, which I've never heard of, charger, an anchor plug, multiple X60 and X90 adapters, spare microphone manual, two K6ARK micro, 2, because you can never have one in
One
stereo.
is none.
Or you like yourself in stereo. A Y adapter, 4S 5,000 milliamp hour battery, headphones, and the tiny paddle from N6ARA. And he's got all the bases covered. His essential tool is his Rig Expert, and he wants to roast the bag itself. So I think we're already on the way to doing that. So let's keep going through this photo shot here, really, and see what we've got for other things to zoom into and look at. So pull around here, dragging this image a little bit. A little harder with a lot of these taller images. So let's go here. So I've taken a screenshot here. Okay, so we are looking at what antenna is that antenna? Is that the Cobra one or the KM4 CFT? Chris there? Yeah, I don't have a shack. Yep. Okay, so he says everything's portable, which perfectly good fit. Yes, he does have his mic in a Crown Royal bag. You are correct there.
Yeah. I'm like, and props, recycling, nothing goes to waste. So those are good bags, right? When you're like an old person, you don't throw out a cardboard box because it's a good box.
Right.
It's like you don't throw out a Crown Royal bag 'cause that's a good bag.
Yeah, well, it's Crown Royal.
And I would just like to say that, like, the way that he has his coax wound around that, like, 3D printed coax winder, it's just, the organization, the wire management, it is beautiful.
Now, Chris, is that a power pole on the other end, or is that just a different, like, of those butt connectors? I'm not sure what that, like, if we're looking at, because that one of those ends is the connector to your FX4CR. I'm really familiar with that one. But the one that kind of pulls a question mark to me is this connector. What is that? Is that just a butt connector? Like, what are we looking at here? Never seen that. Is that a power pole? No, that's not a power pole. What style connector is that? XT60, XT90. Why are so interesting? Why? What does that connector serve? I've never seen one in the field like that. Just curious to see why. All right, let's keep going through the photos here because we've got a library full of them. And
yeah, he's got a lot of photos.
Yeah. So let me go back here.
So we appreciate the time and thought and attention that you went into this.
Yep. Okay. So, man, well organized bag for sure.
The drone battery is an XT90 and the radio is XT60. So he's using this for drone and radio usage.
Wow. Man. We've got all the bases covered here.
Do you use the drone while you use the radio?
Well, he's got to hang his antennas, right? Got to hang his antennas. That replaces the throw bag weight. Wow. Yeah, dude, man, very well. Good organization for sure. Let me zoom in here real quick and look at the bag layouts here. Yeah, nice, man. Whoa, holy moly. Connector layout galore. We have to zoom into that. That's impressive. That's everything and anything.
He also has a rig expert there, so very nice. Yep. He has a dummy load, I'm pretty sure.
Wow, good use of the tins, man. Yep, but my gosh, those are a lot.
Yeah, literally every connector that you could want. He's got some kind of little pliers there, fold-up pliers.
Oh, yeah, I see those in the...
and then more coax, and also the BNC to banana plug adapter, so good on you for that. Again, props. Like I said, every ham needs to have at least one of those, if not more than one.
Yep, and I assume a matching bag for the rig expert? Is that what that yellow bag is underneath? Or is that... No, that's a ShamWow. Is that what that is?
I was going to say, that looked like a chamois.
Yeah.
Like a microfiber cloth.
Yep. Let's drag this up here a little bit more. See what else is in this one here. And then we've got a little bit more in this area here. So, drag this in. So yeah, he's got manuals. Oh, he even come prepared with a dummy load.
That's what I said. He has a dummy load, but he did say like he doesn't have a shack. His portable is his shack, so makes sense that he literally has everything.
Totally.
And the fact that it fits into that one POTA tote.
Yeah, is impressive. Alright, so let's keep plugging away here. This next transition here. So this is his, looks like a logging. Oh, this is the crapopotamus that he was talking about. Okay. So with this pen, very nice.
He loses points because I don't see any of my stickers on any of his things.
I don't see any N1JURs, and I know he has my stickers.
So, He is going to lose points for that, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Chris.
All right. And then we got. Oh, well, there you go. There's a man after your own heart.
Yes. So, as soon as I saw this, I was like, this is my favorite out of all of the submissions because he has pens of every color. So
is that like a spectrum chart? Like what? So curious to see what the chart actually is. So, yeah.
Yeah, U.S. Amateur Radio VHF UHF band plan is what that is.
All right.
And then it looks like it continues. Maybe it folds out. Oh, it's from ICOM. And then it has U.S. Amateur Radio, MF, and HF band plan.
Okay. Nice. Well laid out. Definitely has all of it there. And let me shrink back down and go back to full view since we got a lot of photos. All right, so we've got, oh boy, holy moly. What are all those, Chris?
Yeah, so he's got maps.
Wow.
He's got, I think that's like a grid square map or something. And then, country prefixes.
Wow. Holy moly, Chris, you have taken the cake on a amazing organization, and if it all fits into that one bag.
All these antennas.
Yep, that's the crapopotamus again. Although, no, famous YouTuber stickers. It's a bummer. Although, wait a minute, who's that one? I don't know that one. And then,
I think you skipped picture number 12 with his jankopotamus, which I also have a jankopotamus.
Yep, this is what he calls his crapopotamus.
And then this other box.
James says there's no nano VNA, but we haven't gotten to all the photos yet.
He had a rig expert already.
I know, that's close enough.
So what does he need the nano VNA for?
Why not? You already have a rig expert. N+1. All right, and this is in his full case there for FX4CR and everything. So, wow.
So he said he has an N1JUR on the other side of the box, but where is the KC1OHT bricker? Because I know you have KC1OHT stickers. And I'm very upset that they were not on display.
Man, this is like out of a catalog kind of photos. Like, I have no better way to describe it. It's like you expect this to, you see these on thumbnails for, those videos when they're doing reviews.
Yeah, we can just go shopping in Chris's POTA bag here.
Yeah, literally. We don't have a category for you, Chris. You've broken the internet. Let's see here, transition. So, yeah, I mean, he's got a nice layout. Definitely going. I don't know how many other photos in here, so... Yeah, we got quite a few more. This is Chris Spricker's photo album, family photo album of his radios. All right, let's keep going here. Next one. Yeah, his, I like that spike. Nice. That is a very nice spike. Let me zoom in there. 16. Man, dude. And that all fits into your tote? That's impressive. If it all fits into your tote, Chris, you are the packing master when it comes to this level. This is impressive. Nice setup, man. Nice setup. And then that is the old chalk antenna.
Tape antenna?
Yep, tape antenna. Yep. I mean, that's just out of a catalog, literally. I mean, you can't get any more picture perfect than that. There's not much to roast, except maybe the bench could have been cleaned off, but...
Wow, you're really going to nitpick, huh?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's not much to roast. It's well organized. It's literally the kitchen sink in my mind. If only he had one of
those mammoth mats to cover the picnic table.
I don't know if he could fit it in his tote, but, because at this point, if we look at his tote in the very first picture, everything is in there. Like that is now it makes sense, Chris. Now I understand why you're using a teacher tote because there's no other bag
You know
except
what it
a
is?
backpack.
It's the Mary Poppins bag. If you guys ever watch Mary Poppins and she just keeps taking stuff out of her bag,
Oh yes, yes, yep.
she
It's a
takes she takes like the whole hat stand out.
the 15-volt battery. Oh, nice, dude. You got some good configuration there. I'm impressed. All right. Well, what can I say, man? He's got every base covered. He's pretty much put my bags to shame, even the ones that are very specific in the nature. Like I couldn't say, I have all of these components. And all I have to say is when Chris comes this way again for 24-hour POTA or something else like that, then I'm just going to rely on him to make sure all the POTA gear has everything there because he's got it all in one bag. All right, ready for your little votes here?
Oh yeah, I already know what I was gonna vote this one as.
I'm already there with this one too. So
yeah, because you wasted it on the last person. This is why I said the last person is not.
There are plenty of stickers for everybody in this group to go around, including you. I'll give you your own little custom set, and you can figure out who you want to give them to in the future. So there we go, guys. The kitchen sink, he definitely takes everything, to heart and organization, and very impressive bag, Chris. Thank you again for submitting all those extra photos to back up a very impressive tote bag there. All right. Well, this has been awesome, guys. Hopefully, some folks there in the chat have gleaned some interesting things to maybe incorporate into your own bag there. I think from a time perspective, we'll put what we call the Brew Crew's POTA bag, dream bag to next week, and we'll dive into that a little bit. But yeah, dude, I'm impressed. All you guys brought very well designed, well organized bags, very specific in their functionality and purpose, and so it makes me warm and fuzzy inside that we don't have like the old guard of like what you ever go to anybody's ham shack when if you've been around for a while, you'd go to somebody's ham shack and it would look like a bomb went off, kind of thing.
That's gonna be if we want to roast. I'll take a picture of my trunk, and you guys can roast my trunk. And then I was trying to convince Mike to like take a picture of everything that he brings on POTA because let me tell you, he is almost beyond the level of kitchen sink that Chris has exhibited. I have never seen a man travel with so much stuff as this man. And it was like every tool that he owns came with him, like full set of spanners. Yep. And like everything that you could ever want for like ham radio, like full sets of connectors and stuff like that. So I think, I don't know if I told this story, but when he picked us up at Heathrow Airport and we were driving over to Weymouth, something was wrong with the brake on his car on like one side where like the little piston got stuck or something like that. This poor vehicle has never been driven so much as we drove it over the past 2 months. So, So we got to the caravan park and this man had enough tools to take his whole wheel off, his whole brake assembly apart. Meanwhile, it's like 98 degrees in the shade and he's sitting on the hot car park with the car jacked up, trying to figure out why the brake piston was like stuck out and like the wheel was smoking while we were driving and all this stuff. But like that was like my first impression of Mike, and that just completely impressed me to no end. So that really set the stage for what we were going to experience for the next 2 months. But yeah, like just the amount of preparedness and amount of kitchen sinkness.
Yes. That's a phrase. So awesome. Well, guys, thank you again for hanging in here. I mean, we went a little longer than we usually do, but I was glad to have all you guys there. And hopefully, you enjoyed this little kind of side project here and fun opportunity. We'll definitely try to do stuff like this more, obviously, going forward. So, there'll be many more opportunities for folks to jump in there. And as always, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's show. If you haven't already, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and share for both Shannon and I's channel. Do us a favor, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought of the show today, and maybe if you're watching on a replay, as well as let us know you did, and what bag you thought was like the takes top honors there, kind of. And as always, head on over to the Discord because we always like to pick up this conversation after, and always enjoy having a little fun banter back and forth on all of this stuff, as well as a whole bunch of other things. And the 10 activation challenge is over there too as well, so you can grab more of that in the Brew and Activate disc channel there over on the Discord. And for all of our typical links, Patreon, merch, podcasts, videos, and everything, head over to N1JUR.com and you can pick us up over there. And as always, thanks for hanging out with us today on Brew and Activate. Thanks to Shannon. Welcome back. Hopefully you didn't want to scare you away. You sound like you settled back in just fine.
Yeah, except I think Paul is trying to say that I need a debrief and repatriated, re-Americanized.
If you want the re-Americanization, she might get it on Saturday night over at Northeast Ham Radio. So check us out there on all of our channels as well, so you can catch us anywhere.
Don't forget to watch Paul on Weekend Warriors tonight as well. Thank you, Paul, for saying our show was great.
Yep, and we just saw 2 late entries there for shout outs there. Ham Band, thank you again for being a 2-month member of the Brew Crew, and Grouch, as always, member for 7 months, or Signal supporter, and yes, USA, USA, USA. Gotcha. All right, well, with that, as we always like to say, whether you're activating, hunting, building, experimenting, or just planning your next trip to that park, have fun, stay safe, keep exploring. I know, it's been a while, it's okay. Until next time, keep your radios on, the PTT down.
And POTA on.
And POTA on. Oh my God.